All right.
You ready to go here?
I am groovy. I'm feeling good. Here with my friends.
I'm waiting on a yes from Kyle.
I'm good to go.
That's on the mic, so I
Yeah.
can't hear you at all.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the X-Men Retrospective. Oh, boy.
Oh boy,
I don't think I got
that could
nickname.
be a nickname right there.
Oh no.
Oh, no. I'm the unprepared Travis Snail.
Oh, I am the very groovy Kyle Smith.
Did you just look at your notes for your nickname?
No, I didn't.
You did?
Liar.
No,
Liar.
Okay.
I just had to make sure I had my notes up.
Okay. I am the
Totally lying. I don't.
I am the totally lying Kirkland Patzer.
I also don't know if that sound was needed directly in the mic, but it's okay. We're
Which
going to
one?
roll with it. That one? I don't know if that was
I was
needed.
testing the what's it called, the windscreen? It should be
yeah,
able to block
that's
those.
what it is.
Huh.
No. It yeah, that's what it blocks. It doesn't block snake sounds into the mic. Speaking of snakes, check out the Wolverine review that'll be coming up after this because we're reviewing every X-Men film that we've never reviewed. We've never reviewed from X-Men to Days of Future Past in honor of Dark Phoenix coming out in just a mere few weeks here. That's going to end the X-Men Fox films forever. So we are on X-Men First Class. I'm going to give synopsis, then we're going to get into this notes talking about the whole shebang.
The whole shebang.
In the 1960s, superpowered humans Charles Xavier and Eric Lencher work together to find others like them. But Eric's vengeful pursuit of an ambitious mutant who ruined his life causes to divide them.
Really?
That's it.
was a great synopsis.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I guess kind of. Yeah.
Well, I feel like this isn't a bad thing. I feel like a lot's going on in this movie, and I say that not in the way like X3 and Origins. I feel like most of it makes sense. So I feel like this is maybe the only way you could try wrap this all together. You know?
Yeah.
They don't mention any of the other X-Men or like the war going on, but they're not wrong. It is about Charles and Eric.
Yeah.
It does take place in the 60s, and you know
It takes place over multiple time periods, though. Starts in the 40s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
It ends
does,
in the. Does it end in the 60s? I thought we were in like the 80s.
no 60s.
Okay.
Cuban Missile Crisis.
Clearly, I don't know my.
that didn't
my
happen
history.
in the 80s.
Mm.
I thought it was more like Cold War.
No, and then
I should have read the synopsis.
no.
That's a no from me.
Kyle just sound like that maid from Family Guy. No.
No,
no.
Gwenzela, or
Oh,
what's her
no.
name?
I don't clean. No.
Yeah.
I don't watch the X-Men. No.
Taylor would know her name.
I'll just go because I'm still talking, and then I'll
Yeah,
throw it over to you too.
I was talking.
I like this movie a lot. I think I find I forget about how much I do like it until I plug it in. There's so much to like about this movie. The number one thing is Michael Fassbender.
Ayo.
This is the movie that I fell in love with him. He entered the man crush list. Everything from the way he's acting to what he's wearing, man.
How about those turtlenecks? That man can fill out a turtleneck.
Oh yeah, he is just
100%.
rocking all these outfits, man. He's just
And languages.
He's just
Yes.
oh
Ooh.
yeah. He's
Yes.
just a smooth motherfucker, and I think it's because of certain things that happen in this movie, and I think it's too late now because he's too old. But I remember seeing this, be like, man, he has to be James Bond. Like he's pretty much James Bond in like the first half of this movie. He's great. Other people are good too in this movie. James McAvoy is really good, but I feel like his better movies coming up probably in the next when we get to Days of Future Past. But I still think he's great in this. I think I've appreciated him a lot more over the years. I think with Fassbender, he had such a good, strong, flashy performance that I kind of forget about how good McAvoy is at Professor X. But he's great. I really like the villain. I'm a big Kevin Bacon fan. So I think this checks all the boxes for me. I have negatives, but they're all kind of little quibbles and whatnot. I think action's fine in this movie. I think there's some cool mutant power stuff, but I think some actual fight scenes are a little anticlimactic. I think it's just some plot structuring. I don't know how to feel about it because we got Days of Future Past, but I felt this movie does go through things very quickly. Like we were just steamrolling through storyline. We're meeting people quick. We're forming team. People are dying left and right. Just tons of stuff happen. I think that kind of hurts it. So, and I also love the score. The score in this movie is phenomenal. So I'm excited to talk about this. But yeah, this is definitely in the higher echelon X-Men movies for me. I have some negatives that we'll talk about when we get more into it. But I am a big fan of this movie, and I forget how good it is until I watch it.
Okay, I'll go next. But I think I've only seen this movie. Oh, this could be my only second time watching this movie, honestly.
Wow.
First time was when it got placed on Netflix. Unlucky it wasn't on Netflix again because I had to stream it and I had no subtitles. So you really appreciate Michael Fassbender's...
Streamed it on iTunes.
Yeah, of course.
Legally.
Yeah, legally. I turned subtitles off, though, because I
Yeah.
wanted to test my
Kirkland's learning.
bilingual
You're
skills.
Japanese.
Yeah. Well, that's the next movie. We'll get to that later.
Right.
No, so I sorry, let me restart that. I choked on
Go-
my tongue there.
go ahead.
First time I watched this movie, I really, really liked it. I probably would have given it like a 9.5 out of 10. Coming for my second go around, I kind of had the opposite of what Travis was saying, how the more he watches it, the more he loves it. I had total opposite effect. I found a lot of things that I didn't like and kind of got irked with. Kyle's nodding. I'm hoping I'm hoping he'll agree with me.
Kyle's showing his cards. And
Yeah.
I'll tell them why they're both so wrong. But it's okay.
Well, this is a personal review right now, Travis.
It's all-
I don't want your
this is-
opinions.
This
It's my turn to
episode's
talk.
called Travis Reviews X-Men First Class with guests.
Yeah, with
Featuring guests.
I might actually title that because I don't have a sexy title for this one. I always like, oh, is it that bad? Blah, blah, blah. Maybe I won't title
that
that.
could have been my
but
nickname, the guest.
There you
Kirkland
go.
Batzer.
Save it for a rainy day.
Yeah, there was just certain things that I feel like they just didn't like bug me the first time watching it. Maybe just because it's all new and I'm not really like grasping it all. Because the first time you watch a movie, you miss things. So a couple of things I was kind of irked with. I'll go into it more details later in the film, but overall, I thought it was really great. Out of all the other ones we watched so far, I think it's definitely one of the best X-Men movies that they've made. Huge shouts out to Fassbender and McAvoy. Those two, I didn't think anyone could beat the Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen.
Yep, Ian McKellen.
Ian McKellen like chemistry, but those two, oh man, they looked so great together. And like if you take them just as actors, I could never have pictured like those two having like great chemistry. I don't know. It's just certain people you just like pick out and you think they have great chemistry. Like example, like Brad Pitt, George Clooney, something like that. Like some Ocean's 11 chemistry. Whereas like these two, when I first look at them, I wouldn't really see it. But in this movie, they were phenomenal. I felt like they were just a younger version of Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen at certain points. Obviously Fassbender's performance was impeccable, near perfection. But
Perfection.
I really, really appreciated McAvoy's interpretation of
Xavier.
Xavier. Yes, because like obviously this is younger Xavier. He's not even professor when this movie first starts, and he's just slick. He's like reading chicks' minds to like take them home with him, right? He's so smooth, and it's funny. Like a couple times he used like the same line on multiple chicks. I was just like the mutation
It's
thing.
about did you know? And
Yeah.
then he goes rambling on about his
Yeah.
case study or whatever.
And then Mystique is all like just getting annoyed with it 'cause who knows how many times she's heard that, right? But no, he was just smooth, and the way that he was using his talents for just, I don't know, personal reasons, I just loved it because like you don't get to see that with older Patrick Stewart, right? He's
No.
wise and
He ain't on the dating scene.
no, exactly. So I don't know. I liked it. It was a little more of a comedic side to Xavier. So yeah, I loved it. I liked a lot. I'll say a majority of like the younger versions of the people. Main one is Beast. I really am not a fan of this version of Beast. Might be one of my main irks.
I was gonna say I was trying to wait to hear what your negatives were.
Yeah.
But Beast is. Yeah, I'm kind of with you.
Yeah.
Especially when we just had Kelsey Grammer's Beast too. That
Ex-
movie is not good, but go check out our review. We all
No,
enjoyed
100%.
Beast
Like
quite a
when I
bit.
was, I know I'm kind of jumping later in the movie, but like when he actually becomes Beast and he's just like all CGI and it's so bad.
He's not all CGI. He
You
is.
feel like when he talks.
Yeah, his
lips-
mouth is kind of.
He looks like he has a lot of Botox. Like his lips aren't moving, but he's like words are coming out, and it's just like, especially since, like you said, we just saw X2's version of Beast. I forget the guy's name, or I would have said it.
Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer.
Grammer. Yeah.
Like,
You can just call him Frasier.
okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I actually didn't know he was Frasier till now.
No,
That's
no.
funny. No, all that blue hair.
Talking
I can't put two and two
scrambled
together.
eggs and salad. Or whatever. Great show.
Yeah. Overall, I really like the movie. I'll go into my negatives later on.
Nice. Overall, I really like the movie as well too. I think the first time I saw it, I was with Travis in the theater. I think
That's gonna be a hard no, as me and him didn't know each other.
maybe. I'm getting them all mixed up now. Well, you know what? I'm
What year
thinking
did this movie come
Wolverine.
out?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, The Wolverine. This came out 2011. You
Oh,
and
yeah,
me
no,
met
no,
in
we didn't.
2012.
So
2012.
yeah. Okay, so never mind then. But anyways, the first time I saw this
Unless
movie,
he was
maybe
watching
yeah,
from
maybe you
afar,
guys
yeah.
were in the same theater.
or
He was like, "Who's
maybe we pre-watched it before going to see the
That could,
Wolverine.
that could have been it.
That could
yeah.
have been it.
Or it could have been him just being like, "Who's that dashing white guy in the theater?"
Wow,
And clearly,
this
he didn't
guy.
forget me once we met up at Best Buy, which many people at Best Buy have said that exact same thing about me. So I got a
Wow.
great smile.
This guy.
Some people have said infectious smile.
So
I
I'm
wouldn't go
gonna
that far.
move on from that. So, anyways, I really like this movie. I thought it was
True
really
story.
good. There's like them using different languages and kind of broadening their I should say sets and scenes as well too. I thought it was cool. Yeah, we move a lot through like I guess plots, but
Everything.
everything.
It was a lot smoother than X3 though, I must add.
it
'Cause
was
You,
a
you said that
lot
already,
smoother.
but like comparing it to X3, that was just a
Because we moved through stuff quick, but it all of it's about the same storyline,
Yeah.
right? Where
Yeah.
X3 is like, oh, there's 3 different things going on.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, so I really enjoyed this. I don't have actually too many negatives about it. I think there's a bit of parts where I had more problems with characters more than kind of the overall idea or plot that was happening. So, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But overall, I enjoyed it.
What I was gonna ask you, because you're talking about the subtitles, and this is not in my notes or anything like that. I feel like this is not, and it's not because it's rated R. I feel like this is the least, I'd say, kid-friendly X-Men, because I feel like it's kind of dry. I feel like I don't know if it's. I feel like maybe once the young kids get introduced, maybe, but there's just lots of subtitles. I think the beginning for adults of Fassbender going around hunting Nazis is cool, but I don't think for kid I don't think there's that much fantastical
No.
stuff happening in this movie
That's a good
till
point.
near the end once they're using their powers and Magneto's like lifting subs and whatnot. Like I don't
Yeah.
think this is a movie where you'd show a kid and they're gonna fall in love with X-Men. I feel like they could be bored and walk away and be like, yeah.
I
I
feel
don't
like
like
you can
this
kind
X-Men.
of say that for like X2 as well though. Like when I think of X2, I don't really
But X2 starts off hot and heavy with Nightcrawler though, right? A kid
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
fall in love with Nightcrawler and be like,
Oh,
I can't
yeah.
wait to see that blue guy again, or like
Oh, but you're
Pyro's
just saying it's more like okay. I see what you're saying.
Pyro's popping off in the
Yeah.
cafeteria.
I,
like
I feel like if I brought like my 7-year-old cousin or like 6-year-old cousin, they would be really confused of what's happening.
That is a
or
good
not
point,
confused,
yeah.
but like not that entertained because there is a lot of dialogue and a lot more character development, which is what I enjoy in a movie.
Yeah.
But as a child, you want to see all the action, you want to see a lot of comedy, and there's a bit of that, but not really. So
And like what? Because obviously you have the first scene, which is the recreation of X1, which I really like.
Yeah.
Magneto getting taken away, but then after that, when's the next time we get action? Is it not until I guess it's probably Magneto killing? It's Magneto taking that guy's like metal tooth out, but that's not like a huge action scene. And
No.
even the scene in the bar when he takes out those Nazis, it's very subdued. Like the big
Kevin Bacon when they throw the grenade.
Yeah, I was gonna say not until we get to the boat, which is
Yeah.
quite a
A
ways
long-
into the
yeah,
movie,
that's
till we
true
get like
too.
a big action piece, right? And even then, he takes the grenade, and then it's like over, and that guy goes away. It's not until Fassbender and then like the CIA at the same time find Shaw, and there's like that big boat
Mhm.
battle, and whirlwinds throwing tornadoes at people.
Yeah.
Like it's not. I don't know. I'd have to time clock that, but that's the first huge action set.
That's
piece
probably
of
like
the
an
movie.
hour in, honestly.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
at
close
least.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I think for that. I think with X2, there's lots of talking, but there's always like maybe every 15 minutes there's
Okay.
a claw
Yeah.
scene, there's a mansion scene, there's a Cyclops
Mhm.
getting his ass kicked, a security scene, So,
Rip Cyclops.
mhm.
Yeah.
So we're sticking with tradition here. First class starts off. We get 2 flashbacks or 2 openings. You got Magneto's, and then you get Xavier's, and then you get Magneto's kind of, I don't know, expanded upon. What do we think about this?
Amazing. It was unreal.
Both of them?
Actually, I like both of them. The first one, so the Magneto's opening as well too. Like, I guess we're reliving X2.
No, X1. That's not the
sorry,
very
X1,
first
yeah.
movie. Yeah.
I thought it was the same scene, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It-
They do like a shot for shot. The only thing that's different is the kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. But they tried their best to make it look identical.
It looked
to that
very
scene.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was really good. I even like the whole like interaction as him as a child and Kevin Bacon. I forget what his character's name
Sebastian Shaw,
is. Sebastian Shaw.
leader of the Hellfire Club.
So I thought even that was really good, and just the intensity of watching that scene was I really enjoyed it and really showed like even though that even for that kid, like he did a pretty decent job of what he did. So I don't know. I really enjoyed the beginning of this movie, to be completely honest. I like the build up and, getting to know more of these characters, because I find in X1, X2, X3, like we don't really get too much. That's kind of, I shouldn't say too much. It's just wasn't as well done as this was. So they really flushed out the beginnings of, what we know as Magneto and Xavier.
Yeah,
so.
no, I totally agree with you. Cause like, I don't know, if I look at a movie like on paper and they just like say that it starts off with 2 flashbacks of like 2 characters like back to back, I'm like,
and it's not produced by Kevin Feige.
like, can we just get into the movie, But like, they don't seem like they're not short by any means, but they don't seem like too long. And like, obviously, like if you'd seen X1, it's like it's a redone version of that flashback scene. But like the 2 main characters in this movie are Xavier and Jesus, I almost said Fassbender.
Magneto.
Magneto.
And I would
Eric.
argue there's
There we
3.
go.
To be honest, I would argue Mystique gets in there
as well
too.
Yeah.
Because like that
100%.
Xavier flashback is hers as well, and I feel like him. I shouldn't pronouns, pal. Magneto and Professor X's story are really combined, where I feel like Mystique's story is really with Beast and then the younger X-Men.
Yeah.
Like they are the guy, like the twofers are around the young people, but they're just more to like shame them and be like, we thought better.
Yeah.
Like they're still like the teachers, right? They're not
Oh,
teachers,
yeah,
but
100%.
so that's where I feel like she still works as the third handle.
She's like the middleman.
Yeah,
between
we're in the
Yeah.
act like. Even though they fleshed out Magneto, X1 to 3 is still just all Wolverine's story. And I
Yeah.
love Wolverine, but
Yeah.
he's the only one that gets like Magneto, they give you enough to be like, oh, this is why he's not a complete piece of shit. But really, he's just off in the distance doing bad guy stuff. Where I feel like, I don't know, screen time, but I feel like those 3 get not maybe an equal amount, but close. Like
Yeah.
Mystique is in it quite a bit, which always surprised me when this first came out, because when you think about her in the first trilogy, it was a strange choice to me to do this whole like, oh, her and Charles were best friends and they lived together
Yeah.
and it makes 0 sense, but they roll with it. So
Yeah.
yep.
So yeah, going back to the flashback scenes, they really worked for me. Like the one with Charles and how they explain how Mystique came into his life, and just I don't know. I thought it was funny. Like
My mother's never been in this kitchen.
yeah, exactly. She's never set foot in this kitchen, let alone would like know how to cook. Blah blah blah. It's just like okay, but no, like they weren't too long. Especially how it ended with the extended one on Magneto and it like the coin.
Mm-hmm.
I loved how it flipped and then it just goes X-Men First Class. I just love that.
And then it goes into him spinning it in his hand.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there like
the
a
transitions
badass.
were so
Yeah.
smooth, and it just like when it brings us in, it's not modern day, but modern day for the movie. Like
Mhm.
it's the 60s. It's just
We're not living in the 60s.
modern day if you lived in the 60s.
True.
But I don't know. It just started very smoothly, and I appreciated it and I liked it.
Mm-hmm. I think the whole movie, for the most part, is smooth. The only
Yeah.
part I put in my notes is jumping way to the end, but it's right before the Cuban Missile Crisis, and it's just like Sebastian Shaw talking to that army guy, and they're showing like clips of JFK talking and everything like that.
Yeah.
I think it's needed because you
Yeah.
got to set that up for, like Kirk was saying, not good with history. I'm not good with history, so you got to set up the like, oh, this is what was happening in this time period. But it's only like 5 to 10 minutes, but it's 5-10 minutes I don't care about the setup of the work. It's like, I like that they're putting in like a historical place, but I'm here just to see the X-Men either
Yeah.
lose or win or whatnot. But it's fine. I think that's the only time for me it doesn't work, the pacing. It's like,
Yeah.
it kind of stops dead halt and be like, oh, we got to give you a bunch of exposition to tell you about like what's happening in Cuba, and then we'll go back to Magneto flipping a satellite and stuff like that.
Yeah, because
so.
I feel like if they didn't show JFK for like me, the person that doesn't really know,
Yeah.
back in the 60s what was happening, I'd be like, okay, they just fabricated this whole thing, right? Right?
Yeah, it's just a fictional
yeah,
event that happened.
100%.
Yeah. And no, I like them too. I like Xavier's a lot. It's a good setup, and I like Magneto's. It's good. I think it shows back to back how you look at the upbringing. We don't know much. Okay, so maybe Xavier and his mom weren't perfect, but it seems like he just still has a nice, great life, and he's like very cordial and very caring with Mystique. And then you flip right over to Magneto, who's the same age, just having this awful
Total
life. And you
other
can,
end of the spectrum.
yeah, and you can see why they grow up in such different ways. And even though Charles says they don't have the same goal, they do. It's just in a very, very different way. And I like that back to back you see these main characters that want to achieve the same thing, but their lives got Magneto definitely got the raw end of the deal. Or Xavier, maybe he didn't have a perfect life, but really he was just telekinesis and a good-looking British guy. So
Well,
like,
yeah.
it's not that bad.
Magneto, like even pokes fun at that at some point in this movie as well too.
When they show up to the mansion, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
And-
really-
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously Magneto seems like he's been living like place to place. Like he hasn't been settled. He's just going around killing, pig farmers
Just
and
Nazi hunting.
Yeah, yeah. And then after that we go. Or did you want anything to say on that?
No,
Okay, I
that's
thought you were
it.
saying. And then we got to jump way to the future. We had our first 2 scenes of one. You got Magneto, and I guess I'll keep just going back and forth with them both. You got Magneto. He goes to that bank place and he gets some information with the tooth. And then you also have over there you got Xavier trying his little tricks on some ladies, but then Raven gets in there and kind of embarrasses him and pulls the jig up. So what do we think to the introductions of older characters? And you guys both didn't talk about Jennifer Lawrence's Mystique, so that's what I wanted to
Yeah.
get more into.
I wanted to save my negatives for later.
Whoa.
Getting into it.
Yep.
I'll
yeah.
start with the positive. McAvoy. I think I've already touched upon it. I just loved how like smooth he seems, and like you already said, like he's just a handsome young British dude, right?
Yeah.
I don't
Seems
know.
like he has everything.
Yeah.
Just got a diploma. He's a professor.
Like he's already got like a base set for like picking up chicks of like the good looks, smart.
like masters.
What?
His doctorate.
Yeah.
I don't care. He's smart.
It's more than a diploma.
Smarter than me.
Doctorate.
Does he not have a diploma?
No, he gets his doctorate later in the movie.
Hang on, but does he not have a diploma?
No, you would get a degree.
But do you know for a fact he doesn't have a diploma in anything?
Might have
I
a
do. I do.
in anything.
Guess. Let guest 2 talk.
Guess too.
So disrespectful. Yeah, I was talking about James McAvoy. He's awesome. Going to J-Law. I liked her as like the human, like just as herself, I guess, like not as Mystique.
As Raven.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know. It's hard to like, I don't know, say anything too like special for her because like I don't know. A lot of people probably just like the actress and think that she does a lot better job than what she might be doing as Mystique. Because like for me, I didn't see too much of a difference. I know it's going into rough waters here, but like talking about like the original trilogy of that version of Mystique, like sure they wrote this type of Raven like a lot more important role as opposed to that first original trilogy, but for me overall I felt like they're kind of similar. Like when they switch forms, nothing's too different, like other than when she's just always in Raven form, right? As J-Law. So I wasn't a fan of her as blue form either. I think it's just like the J-Law eyes. I like all I saw was Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, okay.
She was like, I don't know, it's hard to describe.
Her
It's
being
like,
a big actress,
yeah.
does that take away from the movie then from you?
Like, are you saying like if I were to compare it as a like another big time female actress?
Or I guess like a smaller, like if it was an actress that you didn't really know, like because when
I
you
think
look at
so.
that movie, like obviously the
Yeah.
X1, the first X trilogy,
Yeah.
you're looking at that like you don't really know who the
No,
actress
yeah,
is that well.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like when you watch this movie, you're like I'm watching Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, I think that's what it was for me. Even the first time watching it, like obviously I liked it a lot more than I did the second time, but I feel like I just dissected it more. And instead of seeing Mystique, I saw Jennifer Lawrence, and I think that might have took a hit.
Well, when
for
this
me
movie
personally.
came out originally, she was not Jennifer Lawrence. Like she's Jennifer Lawrence, but she was not the big star she was when this.
but she was getting there.
She what? But you wouldn't have known who Jennifer
This
Lawrence
is after
was.
Hunger Games, though, right?
What?
Yeah.
No, is it?
Yeah,
I think it
I'm pretty
is.
sure it's after Hunger
Yeah.
Games.
I don't know.
Okay, well Travis is gonna check.
I think it's
that.
pretty. I think Hunger Games is after
I think
because she didn't blow up. She was in a movie called Winter's Bone, and that's when she got some acclaim. Hunger Games was 2012, so it was a year after this. So
Oh, okay.
she had not
Wow.
blown up. So yeah, she was not J-Law yet. She was just Jennifer
Okay.
Lawrence. So
I think I saw this on Netflix, so I would have seen Hunger Games before I watched this.
fair enough.
So
yeah.
that's another like
retroactively.
yeah, exactly.
See, I'll go because I'm not sure where Kaz. He might be more on the Kirkland side. I am somebody that have said, and there's many people that say she shouldn't be Mystique. I'm with them for the most part. I think as we're not going to watch all the other ones, but we got Days of Future Past with her. I think as the movies go on, she gets less and less better because I think she cares less and less.
Yeah.
Especially even the makeup you can see gets worse and worse because she doesn't care about that. That's why I'm so excited for Feige to actually get the X-Men because there's not going to be any of this shit of X people being like, oh, I don't want to do the makeup this time. You're like, no, you're doing the makeup.
You do what Kevin Feige
Yeah,
tells you to
exactly.
do.
So I'm excited to have things that are not like CG Beast, or if they're gonna CG Beast, do the whole thing, not
Yeah.
half-assed. I think in this movie she is great. I actually do. I remember watching it. I really like it. I'm the difference of I don't actually see her at all like that other Mystique for the most part. I think the only time she's in that, I think she's very cool at times. I think she's like she plays Mystique or Raven in a very like playful, like sexy way, which I feel like she doesn't do that in other movies. Where other like old Mystique is that way, right? She's always just like she has a lot of sexual libido going on, and she used that to her advantage. I feel like there's a scene where her and Hank's getting her blood, and she just like gets close to him like on purposely to make him feel uncomfortable and presses against him. Like that's a very Mystique thing to do. So I think she's great in this one. I think it's We'll Do Days, Future Past, and the other ones where I feel like she just phones it in. So I like her in this one. But as it goes on, and it's so strange for me to watch her in this one because I really like her in this role. I'm not a big fan of the role that they did to Mystique. Mystique in the comics is not really like this, but it's fine. They wanted to do a change up, sure. So, I really like her in this movie. Once we get Days of Future Past, we'll talk about it.
Well, I wanted to quickly mention, too, like, in her defense, I kind of liked, it was maybe, like, another, like, super subplot that they had in there is just, like, the whole, like, her confidence with who she is as, like, the blue mutant, right?
When you have Magneto, like, in 500 scenes just walk in a room and say something encouraging to her and then walk out. I like you the way you are. And then he walks out like, you know you're not using all your strength.
Yeah.
If I looked like you, I'd never change the way.
Yeah,
He does that like 3 separate times.
Like the first time he did it, it just seems so out of the blue. And I was just laughing so hard
because he does the very first time he does it is that same scene when Hank is taking her blood and he comes in and he's like, ooh, kinky.
no, they're literally like about to kiss and he just like steps in.
I know. And he's just like just a huge cock block to Hank in this movie. But it's great. I wish I had like a version of that in the chat, just like walking by Fassbender, you know? So, yeah.
So
it's like Bran.
Yeah, the reverse and Bran, yeah.
Hey, no Game of Thrones talk, please. This isn't the Game of Thrones podcast.
Wow.
This guy.
I'm gonna be
check out Game of Thrones with Travis and guests coming this fall. When we do a retro of it. Yeah.
Just
yeah, no retro Game of Thrones. Once I'm done Star Wars Clone Wars retro, I'm done with TV retros for a while. They just take so long. Movies are
fun though.
Movies are well, it's one. When you think about Clone Wars, like, and when we did Spider-Man, you're doing those like once or twice a week, and that's like
fuck. I'm doing 2 movies a week.
Yeah,
nowadays,
and that feels like a lot. But the episodes, yeah. So until we do this as a full-time job, TV retros is gonna be taking a little break for Travis' sanity.
Travis' insanity.
Yeah, going back to where I was on J Love, just like that, like internal conflict that she was facing. Like as Jennifer Lawrence as an actress, I think she's phenomenal. Like she portrayed that a lot, where she was very like unsure at times whether like what side she wanted to go on, whether she's, I mean it doesn't really happen till the end, but like the Magneto side or the Xavier side, but more of just like if she wants to fit in with society or just be a mutant, right? So I kind of liked that. It wasn't a big part of the movie, but I kind of liked how they used her for that and the way that she acted that. So I'll give her credit for that, but I think it is just like if you want to call it like the superstar effect of just like you have a big time actress, like Travis pointed out. This is actually before Hunger Games, but I probably watched this afterwards, so I probably still had that fresh in my mind of Katniss Everdeen. So
I volunteer. Kyle, you're the middleman.
Yeah, I think you guys have really good points that I didn't really think of. Like with Travis, like one of your points was that when she does that more of that, like I guess like that sexier, like
flirty,
the really flirty, and I think that was good. And for me, at the same time, this character is kind of very conflicting, and I can understand, like she's going through a lot of emotions of who she is, type thing. And I guess I just wanted her to have a little bit more confidence in what she was, and even with some of her motives, like it's kind of like, well, you've been with Xavier for this long, like. I would think you would be a little bit smarter than you are, or at least like somewhat trained to a certain level. Because
trained in what though?
I don't know.
Well,
because like I just think, I guess back to the trilogies, that she's kind of like this assassin. Like
she is so.
But
skilled.
I feel like that is the time now when she goes with Magneto and he's gonna train her. Because Charles is not assassin, right? He's just getting his diploma.
Yeah, but he's also like he's training all these kids as well too to their
for
potential.
Like a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, but that's like even at that, like they're a couple weeks. They've been living together for how many years? And I feel like
he's been picking up chicks.
But this is the thing, because up at that point he's just at school. He's training those kids because they're gonna go fight. Him and Raven didn't have to go fight anything. Right?
I guess so. I just thought like, Xavier is really into this whole gene thing, and I thought, no, not genes, like not gene.
Okay, I was like, well, how are you tying this to X3?
No, wrong gene, Travis, wrong gene.
You did just use gene singular though. You said this gene thing, so that's like
I guess you could use the gene thing, like if you're
Yeah.
studying genes.
Genetics.
he got.
I shortened it.
He must have he must have confused the fuck out of Scott when they were talking about genes.
Anyways, when they get into the genetics, and I thought she would just be a bit, more of a solid character from the beginning, or at least, can have this confliction of who she is. But I don't know. I feel like I was going a lot back and forth with, what she was trying to do, and that's what was kind of taking me out of it.
Yeah.
Especially like, all of a sudden, like she's with, Xavier for a long time, and then all of a sudden she's with all these new mutants, and then they act like they're 13 years
Yeah.
old, and like at a birthday party type thing. And yeah, I guess it's really exciting for them because it's the first time trying their new powers. They don't really know they don't know each other at all, but I just felt like I was in like a preteen show all of a sudden when
Well, I
these
think
are
they're
like,
going for that, but yeah.
But
finish
see,
your-
why is okay? Sorry.
Yeah, finish your point, because yeah.
I know that's just like what I had difficulties with just not watching, but like that's the only thing. Like I just felt like her character was very, she was supposed to be conflicting, but I felt like it was like a lot of back and forth, and it wasn't as solid as it could be.
Yeah.
But maybe that's a bit to do with the writing as well too. Like I'm not too sure. So, but otherwise, I still I don't think like Jennifer Lawrence like did a bad job at all. Like I think she did still like a solid job of what she was doing. It's just like I had some issues about like I guess where her character was or where she was like sitting at. So
Fair enough.
yeah, what were you guys gonna say?
You went first.
Oh yeah, another thing I wanted to bring up, or that you brought up that reminded me was like her lack of like assassin skills. Because I was just like convinced that she was just like a born assassin, I guess, from like X1. Because in X1 she takes on like everyone. Like,
Oh yeah.
she goes in there and takes on everyone, and then like this one, she doesn't fight anyone, I don't think. And then
No.
at the end though, like when Charles and Moira were in the plane, Charles is like guiding Magneto to go fight Shaw, and he just like makes her just like guard the plane. It's like she doesn't even fight anyone. How is she supposed to guard the plane if anyone comes?
I know. It doesn't make much sense. She saves Beast's life,
She
though.
yeah, she does say
but-
that's just like misdirection though, right?
Yeah.
Just like what's happening?
No, she didn't really have much of a reason to be there, but
And-
they found a reason to use her powers.
Another quick question: when this is one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie, but when Charles is like kind of like training everyone, like he makes the suit for Havoc, and he's like having that one-on-one with Fassbender to like move the satellite, and like that was one of my favorite scenes, just the way everything transitions. And but
I know
d-
you're going.
does he even train? Like
She's hitting the weights, remember? She's
he's not with Charles though.
I
That's where
know.
Fassbender just comes in.
But I think that's kind of what they're going for at that point, because
Charles
even
is just ignoring her.
well, because even at the beginning when we talk about that scene, I've always felt like clearly she asked it in a hypothetical, but she likes Charles, right?
That's what it comes off. Actually, that's another point to add. Is that's what's confusing is that, okay, so, Charles has made it really clear that they're brother sister type thing. Like, this is way more than
Any
clear.
guy'd be lucky to have you.
Yeah, and she kind of, like, comes off as, like, super kind of flirting with him. Like,
Yeah.
asking him questions like, oh, like, do you think, like, I'd be beautiful of, like, just being blue and all this stuff? And it was like, where is this kind of coming from? Like, I thought it was already established, like, there's no, like, that type of relationship.
See
but,
that?
Just
Well,
so
do you mean in the
friend-zoned.
other movies or in this movie?
I guess in...
Because in this movie, I disagree. Because all we see is the one moment with them as kids, and then the next time we see them together, she's interrupting a date he's having with a girl. So to
Girl.
me, that clearly is not. It's not like they had a bunch of scenes where they were brother and sister, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh."
I
The
guess.
first scene we get introduced to adult Mystique, she feels like to me as a viewer, she's letting it known that I like Charles and I wish
Yeah.
he noticed me, right? And I think that's the point of
Uh-huh.
two things. One, with Charles having all these other kids, and Magneto as like he's again not paying enough attention to me, and then you have Magneto who's just always just coming in there, sliding in her DMs literally, and I think that's the reason. Part of the reason she does agree with him, but I think it's just because she actually feels important with Magneto. Where with Charles, I think she just feels like another mutant. But I think she does like Charles. I don't think he does
I don't
like
think he
her,
does at
but
all.
I think that's she's been friend zoned by him, but she
Oh, yeah.
is she's DTF right away, So
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that clears things up for me. Thanks.
the other thing I was gonna bring up because this, I don't know. I'll wait because I'll wait till we introduce the whole team because I want to go back to that party scene, but I'll wait till we're
Yeah, I want to touch on that part.
yeah.
as well.
So at this point, and then what do we think about Fassbender? I'll just say it was awesome of the bank teller scene when he's trying to get information.
I loved it.
Just like such a cool use of his powers, just taking out his filling and
Yeah.
really
Like
good.
nothing like life changing, like he's never gonna be able to walk again or something. But it's just like fuck, having to go through that, having that metal thing ripped out.
Oh, that would be awful.
Also, since I had no subtitles, luckily enough, I actually know French, so that was the one scene that I actually knew what was
good.
going
Oh,
on.
perfect.
So it felt good. Yeah.
And at this point, he's just hunting down. He's trying to find Shaw,
Yeah.
and then I think it's a little later on, but I'm just tied in. We get that great scene of him at the bar with the Nazi
That was
hunters.
so
And
phenomenal.
it's so good. And then there's just that moment when I don't know if Kirkland got this, but they're talking about his parents, and he's like, "Oh, my parents didn't have." He asked the guys at the table, like, "What do you guys do?" And they're clearly former Nazis, and they're like almost playing it up, like, "Oh, I'm a pig farmer." And the other guy goes, "Oh, I'm a tailor," and they're like laughing.
Well,
And Fassbender's like laughing with them, and they ask him about like where are you from, and he's like, "Oh, well, my parents they didn't have names," and he sits down. He's like, "They're taken from them," and then he like as he's cheering with them, he's like, "By pig farmers and tailors," and just that moment he's drinking, and they're just like looking at him waiting, and he just gets that knife, he stabs them, he gets the
well, I
gun.
think he shows the tat first.
Yeah, he
right?
does, right? Yeah, he shows the
tattoo.
numbers. Yeah, just that whole build up, the score, everything. That scene is phenomenal. That's probably it might be my favorite scene in this movie. Maybe there's one other one that trumps it, but that's just another scene where again he is like, yeah, he is speaking, but the moments when he's not even talking, just his eye acting stuff, like Fassbender's just like the GOAT in this movie. He's so
Yeah.
good. Like there's so many great combo performances, but that's why for me, I know people love Ian McKellen, but I put Fassbender just a little bit above. I think it's just because he has more emotional scenes to do than Ian did, but
Yeah.
I put him in top 10 combo performances all time. This movie specifically, because he's just a master.
Oh,
and
he's so
he
phenomenal.
understands the character.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love everything. All this Nazi hunt. I could watch a whole movie of just Fassbender hunting the Nazis down. So
No, unfortunately, I didn't really understand much of that scene. But doesn't he switch to like speaking German at one point? Is it because he realizes, or
I
like,
think he does. He
He
pretty
does.
much knows because I think what happens is there's a picture of Sebastian Shaw on a boat and they're with him. So he's like, oh, well, these two are clearly, old Nazis
No,
or they
it-
have some reason.
but like going back to that scene, even though I didn't like, I've obviously seen the subtitles once before, so I kind of understood a little bit what was going on. But like the second time, didn't really understand what they're saying. But like visually, it's so beautiful. Just like the way like the sun glare is coming through. There's
Oh, yeah.
only what 3 people, or I guess it'd be 4 people, including the bartender, total in the whole bar, and it looks so good. Like you said, like the score in that scene is so good too, and just like even when they're not talking, just like the way that he like makes them all panic, and like they're
yeah.
just like sweating when they're drinking the beer, and then when he shows his tattoo, and they just like get that sense of panic when he stabs the guy in the hand with his it's just phenomenal scene.
And it's a good setup for later, like we'll talk about. But that one guy is like, "Oh, I was just following orders," and then later on, when Charles says to the people shooting like the missiles, I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
they're just following orders," and he just keeps constantly being told that, And that what is the line? He says at the end when he's just like, "Oh, I've been at the will at people following orders my whole life and no more." And it again, it's like Charles doesn't get to see all the stuff he goes through, but us as the viewers, we really understand why he makes those choices at the end. It doesn't feel rushed or anything like that.
I guess, but like you think Charles has like kind of tapped into his mind.
I was gonna
already
say because when
before.
he finds his serenity or whatever, he like
But that was one moment. So
it's
I don't
just the
know-
one memory. That's what I wanted
Well,
to
Yeah,
ask.
but
I
like,
think-
don't you have to like search through many memories, like a little filing disk? You're like,
You
oh,
do, but I
Yeah.
feel like Charles has he has a respect for people not to do that, right? And even with Mystique, the last thing he's like, "Oh, I can tell you want to go with him," and she's like, "You said you'd never read my mind," and he goes, "Oh, I told you a great deal of many things." So I think he tries his best not to read people's mind out of courtesy.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have to, right? Because he just tapped into that moment of his mom, but he didn't see like his entire life, right? So
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I think he tries to give people their privacy.
Yeah, that's
think-
what I wanted to ask because I wasn't sure if he like actually went through because obviously it's a really touchy moment, and then it shows like Fassbender have the tear, and then Charles has the tear.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was just because the moment was so good, or if he actually saw like his whole like Holocaust experience.
I think he saw that moment, but I
Okay.
think he has an idea of that. Like he's probably seen the tattoo and kind of can put 2 and 2
Yeah.
together, right?
He's a
but
smart
maybe
guy.
he
He's
has
a
read the
doctor.
yeah, he has a diploma.
He's got it.
God.
And then at this point, do you guys got anything else to say on Fassbender? So
I love those. I want to start wearing turtlenecks because of that guy.
I want to
I don't know if
wear.
I'll fill it in as nice. Did you
Yeah.
just eat a bug?
It flew into my mouth.
Shh, guessed one. I'm gonna. Yeah. Oh, I have his attire. There's like he has this white polo and these khakis and everything. There's a couple looks of his I'm gonna do this summer. At this point, I'm kind of going all over, but we got introduced at some point here to Moira McTaggart. So she's CIA. She's trying to track down.
I got a question for
this
you.
army guy.
I have an answer for you.
I hope you do.
And she's in her skivvies again there. We also get introduced to Emma Frost. And then the
Yes.
entire Hellfire Club, which is Riptide and Azazel and
Azazel looked
Sebastian
great in this
Shaw.
movie,
Yeah,
by the
that's
way.
Nightcrawler's dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I googled because I was like, okay, this guy, he's clearly not Nightcrawler because he's not blue.
Yeah,
but
they didn't do any of the movies, but Nightcrawler and Mystique, or Azazel and Mystique get it on, and that's how Nightcrawler is born. So,
Ew.
what are these questions? So let's talk about this whole like club scene. We got a bunch of characters to talk about.
Right
this
at the
and
very
that.
beginning, my question is, I don't know if I just had audio issues, but it sounded like Moira had like a lisp in the car when she was okay. Maybe I was
don't
hearing
think
things
so.
because it sounded so like
I'm
bad.
not
like it
gonna
was
say you're
forceful.
wrong. I'm just gonna say I didn't hear it.
Okay,
I didn't hear Lisp.
I appreciate that answer. That's a very respectful answer. Not
Kyle
like
says
you
it.
fucking
Guessed
idiot.
one. Guessed one. No, it's not. It's
I
not
didn't hear
true.
all right. I thought it might have been one of those things how like Storm had an accent and then she just threw it off. Maybe like, hey, you gotta have a lisp, and then they just forgot about
She
it.
is British in real life, so maybe that had something to do
Okay,
with it.
maybe. Yeah. Anyways, carry on with the scene. Or do
No,
want
you
me
can
to
just
start?
talk about the
Let's
scene.
do
Yeah,
it.
just the whole club scene. We got a bunch of villains we met, Mora, things like that. So just spitball anywhere you want to go with the scene and these villains and these characters.
Nothing too much I want to go into other than like the introduction of the other villains, unless you
Mm.
guys wanted to talk about any other.
I like Mora. I like her. I think she works in this. I think
I'm a fan of that
she
actress.
sometimes could be on the borderline of being us like not caring about. Like she's
Yeah.
probably the thing I care least about in this.
Yeah,
But she's not annoying. So and she's kind of our way into CIA. I think her and Charles could have had a few more scenes together. I think there's actually a deleted scene of them together, either kissing or getting it on before they go to the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah.
So I actually think that I can't remember that scene. I just remember it's on the DVD. I think probably could have used a little bit more, but the fact that there's not, it doesn't kill the movie for
No,
me.
yeah.
It's just she's good for what she
yeah.
does.
I'm a fan of that actress, so I feel like if they used someone else, just no name, I totally would have been that case where it's just like I don't even know why she's in here,
Yeah.
like really, except for having a tie to the CIA, right?
Mhm.
But I like nothing crazy to say about her, but other than that, I think she did good with the scenes that she had with Charles. It kind of seemed like they had a little bit of chemistry there,
Yeah.
so
It
it's
works.
kinda nice. Yep.
Nope, just a good little guide.
All right, so talk about villains. Talk about the Hellfire Club. What do we think about all these?
Definitely like Emma Frost compared to last time we saw her when she tried to block some bullets.
Mm.
I don't know. She just like I'm not familiar with her in the comics, but is she supposed to have a like she's super beautiful look, or is
Oh yeah, she's
Yeah? Okay.
she's like a
That's what I
20 out of
figured.
10. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's what I figured. She,
She-
like when I was watching it, she kind of seemed like a WWE
Are you trying to
wrestler,
do the
right?
math, Kyle?
Yeah.
I purposely didn't do it right. Yeah, she's January Jones. She's from Mad Men, one of my favorite shows of all time.
That's her real name is January Jones.
January Jones. Yeah, that's definitely a wrestler slash
Yeah.
porn star name.
Slash porn star.
But yeah, she's very good looking. Her and Scott have quite the spicy relationship,
Okay.
and they actually have an affair, but they have an affair in the mind, so people don't find out. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, in the comics.
Yeah, in the comics, yeah, like that's how they cheat. Is
How's her aging supposed to work? Like, does she age like?
Oh, that's a whole no. That's a whole bad continuity thing the movies have, because technically, X-Men Origins, and I have a list of all the bad continuity errors in this movie. X-Men Origins happens after this movie,
Oh, okay.
I think. Yeah, I think so. Right? Maybe I'm wrong. Shit.
No, you're right because
Well, either
Logan doesn't have his.
well, we don't know though, right? Because
No,
we
but he
never
doesn't
see
get
his claws.
but he doesn't get the adamantium till like what, like 2000 when Stryker steals
No,
it. 'Cause
I
at the end of First Class, that's when they, or not First Class, sorry, Days of Future or is it Apocalypse?
Oh Jesus!
Jesus
Okay.
Christ!
Oh no!
No,
Stop,
don't
stop,
think about
relax.
Apocalypse
Don't- we're
because
not
that didn't
far
happen yet. That didn't happen yet. They do retcon them. They make that happen.
You're talking
but
about the
X-Men
Wolverine.
Origins.
X-Men
I
Origins.
feel like didn't that happen in the 70s? Don't they say it happens in like the 70s? That movie.
Oh, jeez.
Either way, it won't make any sense because, like, at that point, remember at the end of that movie, Charles shows up and he's bald and he's standing there with a helicopter. Do you remember that, Kyle? When Gambit's leading them all out of the man, and it's Cyclops and all of them, they're running.
Speaking of Scott.
Yeah, and he's like,
Only
"Hi,
to
Scott. Come with me and you'll be safe." Having origins. And so it doesn't make sense that Emma Frost is there being younger. Why is Charles
totally
standing?
forgot
Why does he
about
not
that.
have hair?
Totally
I have a
forgot.
list after, but I think it happens after. But either way, that's the thing, that she is in the in the comics when she was introduced, she was that age, but with the regular X-Men. She was the same age as Jean, Scott, things like that. And she was a villain. She's always been back and forth. She's always been, you could never really trust her. You don't know what Emma Frost is doing. Sometimes she's been a mortal enemy. Sometimes she's been leading the team. Like at one point, Professor X left her everything. So she's a character that goes. So the continuity for Emma Frost in these franchise makes absolute zero sense.
Okay.
And I'll add that I like January Jones. I don't really like her in this role. I think she's fine, but they...
Like, are you saying they could have casted Emma Frost better?
It's weird because when I heard she was cast, Emma Frost is a very ice-cold character. The way she, no pun intended, but the way she acts, she's very cold and calculated. January Jones is very much like that in Mad Men, and I think she is doing that in this, but sometimes I just find like she doesn't, like she's maybe phoning it in a bit. I don't know. Like I feel like, I don't know if it's a writing thing, like there was enough for her to do, but I just don't think she's the greatest in this movie. I think she's pretty bland. That's what I'll say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just kind of like arm candy for Shaw.
Yeah, and like just her line delivery, like it doesn't even feel like it's cold. I just feel like
Yeah.
she's just saying like,
Okay.
"Hi, General. It's
Yeah.
good to see you." And then she busts out stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good point. I didn't think she was too like memorable.
Mhm.
I like comparing her to X-Men Origins. I just obviously because she's so much more in this, and you actually get to see like her full powers. Does she have any more powers?
Telekinesis, the diamonds. That's about it.
That's
That's kind of
about
the
it,
range.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I overall like I really liked her look when she went diamond form. I don't know if it's just like
I liked it too.
yeah, it just
it's
looks
neat.
sick. And then I know I'm kind of jumping, but when Fassbender gets a hold of her and like strangles her and about to like crack her head off so that she's forced to go back to human mode.
Mhm.
Oh, I just loved it.
I like that sequence visually, but I don't like what happens in it because I don't understand that scene.
Well, because they're trying to read her mind.
Yeah, and then she can't. Yeah,
Okay, why doesn't she do like mind control on them or anything?
that's
like
another.
that?
Okay,
So maybe
I was thinking
not,
about that.
maybe not Charles because they can X each other. But why is she just letting Magneto just do this to her?
Maybe she's focusing so hard on her diamond. form.
That's why I
Well,
tell
maybe-
myself that maybe in
maybe
Diamond
she's
form she can,
Or that,
but-
or she's trying to block Charles at the same time, but Charles is too
okay.
much.
So I hope so. I would have liked some dialogue. I know sometimes people go like, "Oh, you don't gotta tell everything," but I would have liked that because up until that point, like she blocks Charles on the boat. She's very powerful, and then all of a sudden, Magneto just presses her up against the bed, and it's like, "We got her," and it's
Yeah.
like, "Okay, I guess." So
Mm.
that was my one problem. I feel like she gets taken out really easy,
Yeah.
and then when they put her in that jail, I don't understand how she does not escape. Why is she not just mind controlling all these guards?
And she like yeah.
And at one point she just cuts that glass, and it's just like, okay, I don't know what's happening. So
weird flex.
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a weird character. I feel like she is a weak point, not even performance wise, just that they don't know what to do with her. She's the arm candy. She gets captured, and then Magneto. I like their little scene at the end, but when we pick up Days of Future Past, she's dead. So it's not like it was a big setup to be like, oh man, she's gonna be a big role in the next movie. That's what it feels like. But when
Yeah.
we get Days of Future Past, she's gone. So
Yeah, that
yeah.
you brought up some really hard hitting truths right there because I feel like I like her way less than what you just said. Because when I was watching those scenes, I
I
was
didn't mean
thinking
to.
about that, like especially like when Fassbender's like choking her out. I remember thinking that I'm like, why didn't she just control him?
Mm-hmm.
But I digress.
I think she's a pretty, like,
I think she's a pretty too.
she's pretty. Yeah, she's very pretty. I quite
I was
enjoy
just gonna
it.
keep it at that.
Yeah.
No negatives.
No negatives.
pretty.
No, I think it's just like kind of a flatline character.
Yeah.
And just, another thing to add on, right? Because you want to see all these other mutants as well too. So, and at the same time, like her like whole telepathic and Diamond is still pretty cool to watch
Yeah.
as well too. But kind of what I was more like pondering and thinking about is like how does this X-Men Origins is definitely after this movie.
Yeah, I think so.
Well,
The-
100%.
yeah.
But then the continuity doesn't make any sense
No.
because I'm like, I have like other issues of why like this.
Oh yeah, there's
con-
tons. Because
continuity.
they did. The director said, which I didn't know was going into, and people found after. He said that he just this was a fresh story, and he just wanted to make a movie that wasn't tied down by all this continuity stuff.
Oh,
But then it
yeah.
doesn't make sense when they try to pair it with Days of Future Past, because Matthew Vaughn, he directed Kick-Ass, he directed Kingsman. That's who did this one.
Yeah.
He did this one. He was gonna do the next one, and he didn't. And then the original director from X-Men 1 and 2 does Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it was they were going to be like, let's just make this X-Men movie, and it's kind of off on their own. But then they wanted to tie it in together. So that's why Days of Future Past, it does fix all these mistakes. They do put like the X-Men Origins and Apocalypse and all this stuff. So they do fix it. So always the argument is, oh, the reason it's a messy timeline is because this is the one that gets fixed. But if we're reviewing this in a way of just from this movie trying to connect, there's so much stuff that makes zero sense going on, and you just have to
Accept it.
go with it. So yeah. What do you guys feel about Sebastian Shaw? Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon. He's the greatest. Was it hero of all? Is that the same Guardians?
In Guardians.
Yeah.
Just like Kevin Bacon. He there's two stones on Earth. They're with the Avengers. The Earth's mightiest heroes. Is that Kevin Bacon? Oh, he may be on the team. I haven't been there in quite a while.
Yeah, no,
Just
I
like
really
Kevin
like
Bacon.
Kevin Bacon. I thought like even at the beginning, when we first see him, like that was like an incredible performance that he did, and I really like his power of just like taking this kinetic energy and being able to transfer it to somewhere else. I think that's a really cool power, and I was like over the moon about it. So
Over the moon.
over the moon.
Over the moon.
But yeah, no, I think he did a really good job of kind of being this villain, and I was kind of confused. Like, I guess he wants the whole world to be mutants, but like at the same time, it's like
kind of X1.
yeah. Actually, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a little more violent than Magneto. I think
Yeah.
he is just a full-on to me. I love Kevin Bacon in this movie because I feel like he's just hamming it up. He's to me, he also plays it like a James Bond movie, but more like the older Bond films. And I think if you're gonna get a villain that is just, I want to destroy the world or blow something up, to me, I always prefer when you get a good actor that, well, okay, his motives are, we don't really know. It's very just comic book villain, but it's like, I like watching Kevin Bacon on screen.
Yeah.
So that's why I like this villain. He's nowhere near like the top echelon, like a Loki or Thanos. He's not that deep of a character,
Yeah.
but Kevin Bacon just looks like he's having fun this movie, and I have fun
Yeah.
watching Kevin Bacon have fun. So I really like him in this movie.
Yeah.
No, agreed.
Since this is my only second time watching it, I actually forgot he was like the main villain. So in that early scene in like Germany, I thought he was just like a one and done character.
cameo.
Yeah, exactly. I thought he was just like Nazi general or whatever.
He was
and,
on
like,
set, and they're like, come over, film a scene.
Yeah. So just like talking about that scene, like he was so phenomenal as like that Nazi. I don't even know what his title would be. Just a
Okay,
Nazi.
I can't remember.
guess,
He was
like-
General something. He had a different
Okay.
name at that point,
Okay.
but yeah.
Yeah. Did they explain how he just lives forever either?
Yeah, because the energy
Okay.
keeps him young, he says. Even though
Okay.
like he's not the youngest, but
Well,
it's
yeah.
fair enough.
Maybe he just likes that look.
Yeah.
Of the
Young-ish.
40s.
Yeah, youngish. I was gonna say also like I couldn't wear his attire, but he also has some sick attire in this
Yeah.
movie. There's multiple.
I like that suit he was wearing on the ship.
Yeah,
when,
the white
Fast,
one.
Yeah.
And he had like a red scarf.
Oh
going
man,
on.
if I was a
Yeah.
villain, I would just
Oh,
wear
yeah.
all white suit.
That is a
Yeah.
Bond villain,
With like
right
an
there.
ascot or something.
And then later on that movie, when he does see the general, he has like a huge like fur
Yeah.
jacket on. It's like he's the Beyonce of the X-Men villains.
And
He's
you know,
great.
he can actually rock that Magneto helmet too.
Oh yeah,
like,
he could. Yeah.
So
It's like off-putting when you first see it,
Yeah.
but then you get into it.
it was kind of, I guess, we're trying to not, another continuity issue that I had was with this
Throw 'em
helmet is that I thought in the first trilogy that Magneto created this helmet because he created Cerebral with
Yes.
Xavier.
You're 100%
you are
right.
correct. Guess one.
But and,
Yeah.
and but this
Yeah.
thanks guess too. But in this they were saying that the helmet was created by some Russian people.
Yes.
yeah.
So what?
Yeah, that's just they did that.
No, we just have to live with that.
Oh
I
yeah, it's the
guess?
same way Beast creates Cerebro in this movie.
Oh right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not Charles and
It's
Magneto.
in-
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it's not. Just it makes no sense. It's just it doesn't make. It would have made better sense if they just said this is just a full on reboot, and I think that's what the director wanted. But I think the studio was like, but we still want to do like keep this in the universe. And because if it's a full-on reboot, you can't do Days of Future Past because you can't bring that cast back, right? So I think that's the problem. That I think they were still classic X-Men Fox. They were trying to figure out what they wanted to do. And I think at the time making it was like, sure, just go make a reboot, start over. That works for us. But then I think when they saw Avengers and that success of bringing the OG cast back, and because I remember the way they pitched Days of Future Past, it was going to be like the new and the old cast back like all together. It's going to be huge. But really, it's just Hugh Jackman with the new cast and the other old cast is around. Yeah. They're all in the same movie. So I think that's what happened. I think the studio just didn't know what I wanted to do. So I think in the reboot way it works, but I think if now, because it's technically a prequel, there's so many things that don't work. And those are all valid that you brought up. I have no real answer for you.
Okay, no, I guess these are statements. It's not even a question.
Because I remember when this movie first came out, I was on the IMDb boards all the time, and people were trying to be like, "Well, maybe this Cerebro breaks, and Professor X and Magneto make another one, and that's how he gets the helmet." But it was all this like we had to try to explain it to ourselves. The movie doesn't do that.
I was like, well, maybe they create Cerebral 2.0.
Yeah. Oh, everyone
in
tried
Xavier's
that.
place, and this is just number one. And
everyone lied to themselves to make them feel better about the movie. Oh no, this can't be it. But they didn't.
Wasn't that bad of a movie though?
No, but just to like
the continuity.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's too late now because they're ending. But now we just know Fox just doesn't give a shit about continuity. They're just like, we're just making this movie. It's the same way as like we're not going to get to them, but there's a Caliban in Apocalypse, but then there's also a Caliban in Logan. They're played by different actors, and it's like 50 years apart. So yeah, they don't care about continuity. Just make your movie. Boom. After that, we get a bunch of stuff. It's Moira finds Charles and like, oh, I'm the CIA. They're talking about because she saw wild stuff. She saw Azazel. She saw Riptide. She saw a bunch of powers. So they're recruiting Xavier. They have that scene where they go to the CIA and they're like, hey, we're mutants, blah, blah, blah. And there's the guy, Oliver Platt, Man in Black, who's just like, everyone is just like scared of these mutants, but he's just like, best magic trick I've ever seen. And he just gives them full clearance to CIA, everything like that. And that leads to this big scene where Fassbender's found out where Shaw is. CIA's found out where Shaw is. They're all going to take him out. And then lots of stuff ensues. Magneto tries to kill Shaw. Doesn't go well. We got Xavier and Magneto meeting. Anything if you want to talk about there, go ahead.
No, I'm just more discontinuity, really.
Bring it up. Go ahead.
I'm just thinking that, like, okay, if they're supposed to be the CIA, and the CIA has never seen mutants before, and this is the first time they're talking about mutants.
Yes.
Isn't this supposed to be after the trilogy?
What do you mean after the
trilogy? Sorry, this is... Well, I had a moment. This is after Origins.
What? No, this is before Origins.
This is before Origins.
So this is supposed to be like their first contact with mutants.
Yeah, but wouldn't this already happen before in Origin? I mean, this is before Origins.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Just like how Logan after
like a whiteboard. So
I know.
Just like how
like a flow chart.
Logan after that procedure in Origins still had his memory. Remember?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Anything to say on any of this? The CIA stuff, the boat scene,
the boat.
Charles and Magneto meeting up.
I like that he was trying to chase the submarine. And
that was cool. He's just
and just like staying with it and like had no idea what to do and was like trying to take his power.
Yeah. You'll kill yourself. Charles just trying and.
Even before that though, I liked when he brought up like the anchor and it just like leveled out the boat. That was sick. And Sebastian Shaw was just running away with Emma Frost, his arm candy. Other than I already mentioned, I loved his suit on the boat when Fassbender approaches him. I also kind of forgot, because this is my only second time watching it, that it's just like, it all just happens so fast when Fassbender finds Shaw, and then he just fucks him up. Or was it...
no, Emma Frost
Emma Frost did,
She's
right,
like
yeah.
She roundhouse kicks him off the boat.
Yeah.
Did not see that coming.
She's strong
What
as
does she even do? She like does telekinesis
she
powers
hurts his...
on him.
Yeah, he goes... Because he has a knife, and she just gives him like a headache, and he's like,
And just
and then Sebastian Shaw's like, oh, little Eric Lencher. Just talking down to him. It's so good, yeah.
No, yeah. I like that. And then... I just liked how it was the first time that they like see each other, and Shaw was just like, "My boy, like man."
I also really like the shot of like the CIA and like them on the U.S. Army boat, then watching all the stuff happening, like a submarine,
and he's just throwing water tornadoes at everybody.
What was his name again?
Riptide.
Yeah, and like you see the submarine lift, and they're all watching, like what is happening. Like imagine like being in there, just like. You would be freaking out completely. Like, what is going on? Like,
you're completely unprepared.
You'd lose your marbles.
like, oh my goodness, and you're like, we have these mutants with us as well too, and like,
Well, my favorite thing is so they use Charles to track down Shaw, right?
Yeah.
And then Emma blocks him because whatever, she throws up the diamonds.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, there's a mutant on the other boat, and he's like, sorry, I'm gonna be no help for you tonight. And she's like, you're the only mutant we have on this fucking boat. And there's a bunch of them over there. Like, I just love that right away. You're like, oh, we got this. And right away, Charles' first night in, it's like, I'm no use to you at all. It's like,
I've never
great.
met another telepathic
It's
person.
like, great, we're fucked now. Thank God for Magneto.
This
so.
is so interesting, though.
And even Shaw having a boat that turns into a submarine is very James Bond.
Oh,
villain,
so
like-
James
Oh,
Bond.
yeah.
Yeah.
Comes from out of nowhere.
I
but-
wasn't thinking about it when you mentioned like the suit and like the look. He definitely looks like a James Bond villain,
Oh,
but like
yeah.
especially
Everything
the
about him.
submarine.
oh,
yeah.
and it detaches from the boat
Yeah,
as well too,
oh,
and
yeah,
just like
yeah.
starts diving down.
Yeah.
And just like that shot later on when they're somewhere in the
Yeah,
Arctic or
okay.
somewhere
Yeah.
cold, and there's just ice on the sub, and she walks up and she like cuts some ice off.
Oh my gosh,
and
yeah.
like
Yeah.
cool stuff. Yeah, and then I like obviously you have, it's a little weird that Magneto goes like I didn't know I was the only one,
I
even
thought I
though
was
like
the
he
only
just
one.
bumped into like Emma Frost and this devil looking guy. So I feel like it was a little strange timing, but I get what they're going for in that scene of,
Mhm.
oh, I'm not alone, you're with
Yeah.
me. I like that.
Like,
so
yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
and then at that point, it's kind of they bring Eric in the CIA and they go, oh, well, we got to hunt down Shaw, but we're going to do it our way. So before we get in that, they meet Beast. And we can talk about Beast because Kirkland apparently not a fan. But I do love when they meet Beast. Xavier's like, how perfect, another mutant. And he walks
Yeah.
right up and he's like,
Okay, yeah, I like
and he
that.
just outs him in front of everybody.
Yeah.
I really like that. But yeah, what do you feel about Nicholas Holt's Beast?
I like Nicholas Holt. I'm a fan of the actor.
Shouldn't be Batman.
Yeah.
Should not be Batman. That
Is
a
that
ru-
who
that was
sh-
a-
is that who they think?
That was a rumor a couple months ago that he was
Oh,
in the
wow.
running, and
Okay.
yeah, and he's a good actor, but that's not
Not
that's
a role
not
for him.
that's
Yeah.
not Batman.
No, that's not my Batman.
Yeah, not my Batman.
Not my Joker either.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I don't know. Like, I liked him just as that brainiac, like young scientist looking dude, but like him as Beast and that transition that he goes through, I wasn't sold. Especially like he didn't even want to be a mutant, really. Like, and then
No.
especially since we just watched Frasier, Frasier's Beast, and he's like so pro mutants, and like I realized that.
This is young.
I
Beast,
realize
though.
he's young, and he goes through like a changing moment when
Did you want to be a pro podcaster when you were young?
absolutely
I don't think podcasting was a thing when we were
no, but I wanted to do something like this.
young. Radio show host.
Yeah,
And I'd take a formula to do it.
yeah. Also, just like he just really liked hanging upside down. I feel like he wanted to do that more than anything, right? And
Well, he's the same thing until he gets like Beast. It's like, what's his power? He got big fucking feet.
I know
like,
that was such a dumb power.
I love the one scene when,
Wow, it was
when
awful.
they're having like their preteen party and like those two douchey like agents walk by. He's like, "Show us the feet."
And it's like that just shows he really is just going around hanging places. Because why does he need his feet out at the lab?
Hey guys, what can you do? Check this out. Flips upside down, hangs. Cool.
That's his party trick.
Fuck you,
yeah.
loser! But just shoot that off. But even then, like,
Yo, he's for sure a class 5.
okay, so we're gonna jump over a little bit, but whatever. I gotta talk about this. So, and Kyle, you can go after how you feel about Beast, but you can get on
I
this.
hate Beast.
Oh. Yeah, I don't mind Beast. I hate him as much as these two over here, but I'm not vouching for him or anything. But and then clearly they do classic Mystique. Lots of like love quad going on, same way as the last movie. But like, so she has a thing. She likes Xavier. Xavier doesn't like her. She kind of she ends up liking Magneto, but she doesn't know that was the plan. You know, I feel like they're just kind of like F buddies, you know. I don't know what the deal is there, but they like her and Beast clearly like each other and have an attraction to one another. So my jumping point is to when he's talking about this whole, of course, I always, when I saw this movie the first time when he's talking about the cure, man, I rolled my eyes fucking hard because it's just like, we just had the cure. Why do we need to bring this back? But anyway, so thank goodness it's like, it's minor, but his whole thing is, and it doesn't really make sense to me. So they're gonna have the powers without looking weird, which doesn't make sense to me because for both of them, her power, she can change anybody. So she doesn't need to look weird. And then what would she, if she takes a shot, would she just look like regular Raven and
Yes.
then, but she could still
because-
turn into people?
Because I think my understanding from this movie is that Mystique, when Raven is in Mystique mode, she's strong.
Yeah, she's strong. Or like
She's stronger or whatever.
Yeah.
But when she's in Raven, I don't know, because she has to think harder to be in that.
Well, yeah, Magneto exactly says that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
You
the-
made it
what's
sound
your-
like you discovered this.
No, I didn't
You're like,
discover
from
this.
what I no.
No. I'm just trying to answer your question.
Okay, so you're saying that when she would take this formula, she would look
Yeah.
like Raven and still be strong, and everything.
Yeah.
But would she still have the ability to change?
Yeah,
Do
she
you
would
know?
still have the ability to change.
Okay, fair enough. But I still go just stay as Raven. But that's fine.
Yeah.
What happens with him? Because it's his feet. So his feet would what, expand to our or shrink down our regular size. Then when he needed to use them, they would burst out and grow.
I think he would just be fast. That's just why I hated his power. This is why I did not like this at the beginning.
So he's just the Flash.
No, but he's not Flash because he's not that fast. He's just
He
gonna
ran
run.
around that school pretty quick.
Yeah,
But that's the thing.
not
I feel like
Flash
the
quick.
reason he ran fast was because his feet were like that.
Yeah.
They're bigger.
No, 100%.
So that you made sense of Ravens, fine. But his never made sense to me of like, I'm going to have the beast powers.
Why would bigger feet make you faster?
What?
I feel like that is straightforward.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
yeah.
Just your feet is bigger, so
okay.
that's more weight you
it's-
have to move.
No, but it's not
He's got
like
beast
our
feet,
feet
though.
being bigger. Yeah, they're like claws. Do you see the way they expand? They're like, he honestly looks like he has
guess.
like another hand on
Yeah.
both of it. So it's like you could like run on the gravel quicker, like. But whatever, I don't care
Whatever.
about his
He should just
speed.
take the L. Like, you have big feet. Get over
Oh,
it.
I know.
Like,
And this hot chick's into you.
Yeah.
Why?
why?
She likes your
Stop.
feet,
Who
man.
cares? Don't even show your feet.
It's just
Fine.
like it's just wear socks all
the time.
Why do these security guys know what your feet look like? Like, why are you showing off? No, yeah, it's definitely to me reminds me of X3 when Storm's like, we don't need a cure, and here's poor Rogue like, yeah, we do, or
Yeah.
I do at least. So
Yeah.
that I think the whole, I don't know. I don't think that storyline's useless because I think it's more laying on for Mystique as far as, she's in the middle of deciding who she wants to be and I don't
Yeah.
want to take that. I don't know if for that it works. If they want just to get to Beast being blue, they should have just had him fucking transform in the middle of the movie and say whatever, it was his stage of evolving. But
Yeah.
so it's not the worst, but it's kind of a detour that's not my favorite in this movie.
Or at least like trying to use some sort of like, I guess for him this is before Origins anyways, like him creating his own cure.
But he needed her genes to perfect it, remember? He's like, with your genes,
Yeah.
my cure will work. So it would never worked until he met her. But it didn't
It's
work
true.
because it just really backfired on him.
Yeah.
And then
Which is fine.
and that's karma though. He
But-
looks
well,
1,000%.
I guess they could've
That's not fine. He looks like he's a huge blue fucking beast.
Yeah,
But
now.
he became the beast, though.
He became the beast from that.
Yeah, but he looks like crap.
I 100% agree with you.
I'm not disagreeing with you. But
That's like
how
the-
he becomes the beast.
Yeah, that's like the
but
one.
not in comics. He just starts evolving. He becomes like, now I'm the beast now.
Or maybe it would have been good if he was taking these injections thinking that he could try to slow it down, and then him thinking, she can change.
yeah, I'd like that. But this was just
Yeah.
like you went from having big feet to now fucking yourself over to being this monster
Yeah,
when
it sucks to
she's
suck.
and it's good that she's still like
That's what happens when you don't carry the one.
Yeah. It's still like it's
Calculations.
fine when he comes out in this. Jesus, he didn't get a diploma. It's fine when he comes out in his suit and she's still just like, you look great or whatever. But it's still just like, yeah, but now you look like a monster. It's not great.
I'm just not a fan of the look.
No, me either.
No,
not
it's
even the
awful.
CG, just the
No.
fur, the way
the
it is.
face.
Yeah,
my
it's not
goodness.
good. It's not. It was
I
not.
felt
You
bad
see like
for
his
him.
silhouette coming out through like the
He looks
the
like a giant
hanger.
cat.
Yeah. You just see the furry arms. I'm like, oh no.
Do you guys got anything to add on their romantic relationship at least, or anything?
I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it
yeah.
worked for me.
I kind of liked it, but going back to I felt like he just contradicted himself though, because he just seems like so like just nerdy, like just really friendly, and like he just wants friends or whatever. But he's such a dick to Raven when they're talking about the cure.
Oh,
He's
I
like,
know.
he's like, you don't look beautiful. He's like, and then she trains back to
Oh,
like
yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence. She's like, now you're beautiful.
Yeah,
Oh, that
but
was a
blue,
big-
no one
Oh.
will accept you.
Yeah. Oh, he was
It's
just.
just hitting that point home, you
Yeah.
know.
It's just like those memes of Last Jedi when it's just like Kyle, like it's after Ray and
nothing.
Kylo, kill everybody, and Ray's like sitting there crying, and it's like some commentary of Kylo, like, here's my shot, and then Kylo's like, you're nothing. You're no one. You don't belong in this story. And it's just like, oh, you screwed it up, man.
Yeah.
That was this. It's like, she doesn't care about your big fucking feet. She,
No,
she
she
opened,
doesn't.
you took your shoes off, you flipped, and she was like, wow. She was like aroused. She's talking about, oh, big guys with big feet. Like, she's completely
Oh,
fine.
yeah.
It's
She's
just
the
like,
one that leaned in for the kiss too.
yeah.
She was
So
like,
yeah,
this
she was
moment,
so
your
into
whole
it.
life, you'd be like, I want to make this cure. I'd be like, I don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
You think
This
that?
babe is like, yeah. And
Yeah.
it's,
I guess. Well, maybe he didn't like Mystique.
not blue, I guess. But
No.
Maybe he doesn't
blue.
like blue girls. You know.
yeah.
hypocrite.
that's it.
He's racist against blue people.
Oh, sorry,
So
Avatar
just
people.
Mystique, yeah, Mystique and the Navi.
and the Blue Man Group.
He's running there trying to inject them with the cure, and they can't say anything because it's part of their shtick. We're not mutants. We're not mutants.
Jeez.
They're
Oh.
just trying to drum away.
Yeah, Yondu's a goner. Nebula. Oh boy, I hope they carry this storyline over into the MCU. Feige. The Smurfs are done. I'm trying to think what else is blue out there. Oh boy. Tell us what
I
other
can't
blue
think.
people what?
I can't think of anything.
Tell us what other blue people out there he should target. So at this point, they also go. So like I said, there's lots of stuff. They meet Beast. They're like, this is Cerebro. We've talked about that. Blah blah blah. They hook Charles up to it, and they make a deal with the CIA because the CIA, that guy wants. So they call him the Man in Black. That's literally what he's called in the credits. It's stupid. He says like, oh, we want the CIA to find these mutants. They go, no, we're gonna do it together because Fassbender goes to leave, and then Charles is like, oh, like. You could have left hours ago. Why haven't you? So he's trying. And Magneto again. He just has this great. He's a turtleneck, but he has this awesome brown leather jacket.
Oh man, that
Someone
jacket
has a man crush.
Oh,
we
yeah.
should title this podcast
Travis
Travis
reviews.
reviews Man Crush.
Travis
movie.
reviews
guests.
first class with guests. And Fassbender love. I don't know. I've lost it. It's gone. What was I gonna say? I tried. I couldn't think of a clever title.
Beautiful leather jacket.
Go to the
Cerebro.
After Nine podcast. I talked about my man crushes on there, so it's a great episode. And yeah, Fassbender is high up there. He's he could convert me. I probably there's a chance. So they just say, hey, we're gonna find a way to get these mutants. They go Cerebro. They say we want to be the ones to bring them in. Let's talk about the intros and this entire team, and we can loop this in with the training segment as well. Well, actually, no, wait
No,
for training because training happens.
montage.
Training happens
Yeah,
after a
it's
certain
amazing.
scene. But what do you guys think about all these characters? You got classic characters like Banshee, Havoc, Darwin, Angel, and I think that's it.
Awful.
Really?
Continue.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's all I got.
None of them are blue.
No, I guess I just like. I guess for me, like they really went back to this whole like, maybe it's the part. Is this? Are we at the party part?
No, this is just them going when they're just like
Oh,
Darwin's at the cab.
Actually,
and he
I like
goes
the
and Angel's at the strip club and everything.
I like
that.
the interest of them
Yeah.
like going and finding everybody.
Yeah,
I
me
just
too.
don't like their powers. Like,
think they're lame.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, but I guess at the same time, like they're just trying to find mutants that they don't like. This is
They're trying to find anybody.
find
This is-
anybody
yeah.
to be on their team, and like some of these people are like pretty young, and you're like, okay, like what thing do you like? If you have used the Cerebral to like take a specific person, like are you just going because they're close by to you, or like
He doesn't know their powers, right? In Cerebro?
No.
No.
no?
Unless
He
he
just
like
knows they're
sees them
mutants.
using. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why it goes to those servants. They do try to recruit adults, and it doesn't go well.
Oh, one of my favorite parts of the whole
That's
movie.
true.
Still, to this day, my favorite cameo of all time.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some Stan Lees up there as well,
Yeah.
but just said like, hi, I'm Eric Lynch. I'm Charles Xavier. Fuck off.
Yeah, the one
And
F word in the movie is
Yeah.
just so well
And
used.
they just leave him be. And
Yeah.
it's fantastic. It's great.
It's so good.
Yeah.
But no,
So maybe that's why they didn't try to go adults after that. They went to him like, oh no. Even though I have something to bring with Darwin when we get there.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I liked them trying to find all these mutants. I think that was good. I just don't like the mutant, or maybe I haven't read the comic book, so I don't really know. I just didn't like the mutant powers in the movie itself.
If you don't like the powers, you don't like the powers. You know?
Yeah.
it's a you problem, I think.
It is an ish me.
Yeah, I
The saying goes issue. not
Okay.
an
I
issue.
know. I'm just laughing.
You
at you said
shortened
that.
ish.
Continue.
Oh,
Continue.
yeah. Do you understand?
Day one ish.
Okay, go ahead. Guess two.
Okay, it's my turn now. Yeah.
Wait.
Oh,
Now it's your turn.
fucking guy. Mute his mic. Which one's he? Overall, I actually really like the little montage of them going and recruiting people. I kind of in your situation. I know it's an ish me, but I don't know. They're just kind of underwhelming. I don't know. Maybe they don't want to introduce anyone too awesome since they already got their awesome guys in this movie. So maybe that's why they chose that.
Would have been
Did they
great.
explain why they chose those specific?
No.
No. Okay.
Like in like after? Like
Just
do you mean in the movie
Like,
or
is
like
this some in the comics that they go
No.
and recruit that specific?
No, the first
people?
class team is legitimately I'm pretty sure it's Jean, Cyclops, Beast, Angel, and there might be one more missing, but those are like the OG and the very first X-Men.
Oh, really?
I think they did just do, for real world reasons, they were just trying to make this about Xavier and Magneto. Because this isn't my trivia, but I'll bring it up now. This movie was originally just an origins movie like Wolverine, but it was about Magneto. So it was just Magneto. So lots of that stuff at the beginning of him hunting the Nazis, that was kept from the movie. But the movie was supposed to be like it was his time in the World War, escaping, hunting down people. He'd meet Charles, and that would go on. So it was originally just a Magneto movie. Then they kind of combined them all, and then they made like an X-Men First Class, like what they did. So I think that they didn't want to make this about Jean and Scott and Storm and all that. They wanted this to be about them still, but still have a team-like aspect. But yeah, I'm going with you guys. I don't care about any of these kids. I don't really like them. I also think, other than the guy that plays Banshee that I've seen in other stuff, I don't think they're not great actors who are playing the kids. I think the guy that plays Lucas Till, who plays Havoc, is not great. The guy they cast for Darwin, I had to double check earlier in this cast. It to me is very strange because let's transition into the party scene. And I actually like the montage though of them getting them all. I think that's all good. The music's good. That flow's good.
That's amazing.
So the party scene, so they've like recruited them all and they're just getting to know each other. And I like that first starts, they're giving each other nicknames. And I actually thought that was a good way. I thought they're drinking and they're just kind of, I thought it was organic. The way like, oh, we're going to call you Beast. And like,
I like when she's like, I'm Mystique. And he's like, what if I want to be called Mystique? And then she switches to him. That was fun.
Yeah, like I think they got good little back and forth there. And then, yeah, it just deteriorates into a big party mode. But it's very high schoolish, but not like it does.
It's
feel
not
like
even high, it's like middle school.
Yeah, and it comes out of nowhere.
It's a dry party.
Preteen.
Yeah, it comes out of nowhere, but I think they were going for that. I have a few problems with it. I don't mind that they did that. My one problem is I feel like Mystique and Charles are supposed to be the same age.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that I don't actually have a problem with the young X-Men parting whatnot.
No.
That's fine. But with her being there, it's kind of weird. And it's also weird because I checked out for some reason they're all, as of right now, the actors are probably younger at that time. But as of right now, they're all in their 30s. So when they filmed this was 8. So they're like early 20s. The guy who plays Darwin is a whole 10 years older than all of them. So to me, it's always felt weird watching this scene. Like he feels very out of place and to me kind of creepy, even though he was just in his like later 30s. Just the fact that he's hanging out with like they're all kids and he's like, I guess maybe they want one adult in there, but then he's still like partying with them and he's like, hit me with the chair, and he's like putting his face in the water like
Harder.
Yeah, I liked what they're going for. I just don't think the execution was there. I like the scene that falls a lot of Azazel just taking out the guards.
Yeah.
So badass. And he is scary as hell. And even the scene when Shaw is like, he's killing all those guys and the guard is like, don't kill us, the mutants, they're just in this room over there. And I think that's really great. But the party is, it's kind of all right.
He's just hanging.
Yeah, and then
Doing what he does
showing his
best.
feet off. Yeah. And you just have
Show us
Xavier.
your feet.
Yeah, and you just have Xavier like, I thought better of you, you know. And it's a weird scene. There's good things about it,
Well,
and there's weird stuff.
Yeah. Touching on like the good, I like when it's Moira, Charles, and Eric. They're going, and then
Exceptional.
yeah, Charles. He's what does he say? He's like,
Fassbender's like, oh, I don't think any of them are ready for
Yeah.
this. They're too young. And then he's like, I don't know. They're
I
a
think they'll
bunch of
surprise you or
exceptional.
something.
They'll surprise you. They're a bunch of exceptional
Yeah.
young people.
Seen
And
the
then
best in them.
Yeah, and then they're just causing
Yeah.
havoc. No pun intended. And Fassbender's just like, exceptional.
yeah,
and
no,
he
I
walks away.
love that.
One
yeah.
of his drive-by just drops a line and leaves again. So
Yeah, so yeah, I wasn't a fan of them showing off their power. Like, I guess you get to see their powers, but like they're nothing amazing.
you could have
so.
saved that for the training sequence.
No, they show their powers.
They
at the
show
party.
off their powers at the party.
No, I mean you could have saved that. You didn't have to show it there.
Oh.
Show it. I didn't show
No,
it.
I think they're showing. No, he's saying them showing it the powers.
I thought you were
at the
having
party.
beef with me, not
Yeah.
the movie. I'm like, what are you talking about?
No, because you say you were. I guess you were talking about them showing their powers, but you just didn't like it. I thought you were saying they didn't have to show their
No.
powers.
No.
And they don't have to really.
I
They did it
agree
for the
with you.
scene,
Yeah. No, you came off.
I
as
got
the-
aggressive
yeah.
there.
It's like, oh, we don't have to talk about it now. We could talk about it later.
You know what?
That's what you came off as.
Guess who's talking back?
Kyle, any thoughts on the scene?
Well, I kind of gave my thoughts already.
Well, not to the listeners, because when I brought up the young thing, you just like raised your eyes like in agreement.
No, I just like I agree because they're just like there's. I feel like they're supposed to be like these 20-year-old. You know, she's like Angel's a stripper. Like, you know,
what does that have to do with anything?
well,
She's not a minor.
she's not a minor, and they act
But
like
could
they're
she just be like 21 exactly?
sure.
Yeah.
And we did
Why not?
some crazy stuff in our 20s.
Yeah, I guess maybe if they went more, maybe they were going for like a dumb college party. This is what they're doing type thing. Yeah, it just did not
That's what
come
they were
off
going
like
for.
that at all,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it just came off a little immature.
It came off very immature, especially for Mystique. Like that aspect of this is the issue that I have with the character is that, like, my mind is that why that's what I was saying earlier is that Mystique is like supposed to be, she grew up with Charles, so I thought she'd be a little bit more mature than she actually is.
Yeah.
And that's why like when you go to this moment, it's very like conflicting of like, okay, like what type of person are you? Like you should
Yeah.
already be like kind of already established. Like it's okay that you are like afraid of showing off your powers, but at least like have like, you know, her in the group like all of a sudden should have been like that with that maturity, be like, well, like maybe let's back it off or like we're going too far or something
Yeah.
like that. But even at that, like of course that's not going to happen because, you know, Xavier's supposed to look down at her as like a younger sibling, but
Yeah.
yet like they still throw in this whole love triangle with that she likes Xavier at the same time. So this is just kind of
Well-
the issue I have with this character.
To play devil's advocate to that, maybe she's just so tired of Charles just like treating her wrong, so she just wants to like rebel, right? Maybe it's just I want to.
think so.
I want to go to this preteen party.
I think they could have just made her the age different a little bit, a little wider between those two.
Like
I
if
guess,
Charles was actually
older,
like, yeah,
a little
Yeah.
older.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
he's supposed to be. I think he is in real life, but it just doesn't come off that way. The way they meet, right? Because they're both little kids. So.
Yeah.
they seem like they're the same age when they meet in the house.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
And then I guess we didn't talk about too. What do we think about Angel leaving the crew and joining in Sebastian Shaw? And we also we've talked about, but in the middle of this was when Xavier and Magneto they went to go get Emma Frost and find Shaw. We talked about that scene with
Yeah.
the. But
I think this is all kind of really confusing
yeah, I
because-
agree with you.
because it doesn't really make sense of like, oh, what side are you choosing? It's like, what like why like they don't even explain like why they are bringing them into the group. Like all I know is that
Because he wants mutants to be with him.
yeah, they want like more mutants to know. I guess know more mutants, but there wasn't really explained that they were going to use them to fight against other mutants.
no,
And I feel like
don't
these
really
people,
explain it
like
at all.
obviously, like from this party scene, they don't seem like people who are wanting to fight for someone else's cause. Like they need a reason to fight for somebody's cause, and there's nothing of that.
Okay, I'll try to play devil's advocate because I don't like the scene at all. So I'm gonna try and look at the other way because I hate that they make Angel go with this group. We've literally known Angel
Well,
for
Like
30 seconds probably.
10,
I know.
10 minutes tops. So her like turning is supposed to be a big thing. I think it's just supposed to be that. Remember those guards come up and they're like, "Hey, you know, show off your powers," and she's just like, "Oh, when people ask me to show other things, this feels less degrading. Like that feels less
Yeah.
degrading than this.
Yeah.
The way they talk to us." And then when that guard does like give them up, and then he gets killed. So I think it's like she's supposed to be scared in that moment. So that's why she goes to them. She just feels that she is on the losing side and she will die if she doesn't go with Shaw.
Mhm.
I think it's very weak and it's very
Yeah.
paper thin. I think the whole scene in general, like Shaw holds up his hand, Angel walks over, and then Darwin's just standing there, and he's like, he puts his hand back up, and it's just like we're supposed to feel emotion, and him and Alex have this fake thing, and Darwin's like, I'm coming too, and I like Darwin's death, but that whole scene to me, other than that, it's not great.
Yeah.
I wish they just did make her turn. I think they just needed Banshee to go fight against someone that was a fighting person, like a flying person
Yeah.
as well, right? So
Mhm.
I don't understand the choice.
Yeah. Just you mentioned what's Darwin? Darwin's
yeah.
death. I agree. Like visually, it was nice, but like, but like you have no emotional attachment to this character. You've seen him for 10 minutes.
You're just
I've
staring
seen
at that
him at a
camera.
party trying to act like a frat boy.
Yeah, and
Oh,
but he's 12 years old.
No, he's like 40.
Well, he's
40.
40,
He's like
real
thir-
40,
he's
but
like-
he's acting like he's
Yeah.
12.
Yeah. So very lackluster.
Yeah.
I like forgot he even died. Forgot he was even a character. Like
Oh,
he's
I
just
know.
such a write off. Yeah.
We can't even bury him, Charles.
No,
They
they're
were
all
so
a
distraught.
write-off. We partied with that guy.
Yeah, we
Greatest time.
we named him Darwin. Fuck. I'm trying to think. After that, yeah, she goes with him. This is, I think, that war. No, it's not the war montage yet. That's coming up. And then we get the X training scene. So what do we think about this? We got just the whole. Deal.
I love the gray sweatsuits.
Oh yeah.
Psych.
I
That was
lo-
awful. Why do they have to be wearing gray?
Psych.
That was just.
I'd take a pair.
I think a pair.
Yeah.
For my,
It
my
was just-
weekend wear.
It was very like classic, like Rocky or something like that, where
Mhm.
they're all just training and all matching. Like I don't understand why, but sure. But
Well, because Charles just has this stuff on.
He wants
him.
his team, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to dress like. Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie. Just like visually, the way that they transition the scenes and how
Mhm.
it starts with Fassbender and McAvoy like at the satellite, and then he kind of has that dialogue, and then it goes to Charles going to with all the other characters, and then once we loop back and it ends with back with Fassbender. I just love the way that scene was done and just all of it, like the way that everyone's just getting hyped that they can use their powers.
Mhm.
Like I know I'm not the biggest fan of Havoc, but like getting oh yeah, no, I didn't even really like that when he like does the target shooting. Yeah,
Mhm.
and he has that little back and forth with
A beast all the time.
Beast.
Yeah.
Oh, I hated their dialogue together.
Oof.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mention it anymore. It's not worth my breath. But yeah. Other than that, I liked it. When Charles is running though with Beast, it must just be a Beast thing because every time this guy's on, I just have irks. Like, so funny when they're running. He rips his shoes off, and again,
If
like
you're gonna beat me, you need to let
Yeah.
the beast out. And I just got flashes of Split and Glass when James McAvoy
100%.
is the beast now, and it's just
100%.
like this is some fourth wall shit that Deadpool needs to be in here.
Totally. I thought of that too when he mentions the Beast. I'm like, McAvoy just start running on
The
all
beast
fours
is
here.
coming.
So great, but some of the worst CGI when Charles is
Yeah.
running and Beast catches up to him. But then again, I digress. Yeah, just visually, I like the way that like the scenes transitioned. It looked like some PowerPoint shit, but it worked for me. I loved
Mhm.
it. So yeah.
I love all the Banshee stuff in that when they have him out the window
Yeah.
and they're like scream when you jump, and then he's over like the first one and he's just like and he falls into the bush
So
and
good.
just like Magneto the whole time, and then at the end when they do just push him and
yeah.
it's just kind of that fight or flight,
Yeah.
and luckily he screams. I don't like the sound of the scream. I know what they're going for, but it's actually just annoying in my opinion. I get
no,
it, but
I agree.
It's super annoying
it's
to listen
super
to.
annoying. That would be not the worst power because Rogue still has it pretty bad, but yeah. And then so we got a lot of training things. You got the great moment of we talked about a bit earlier, but Magneto
Yeah.
and that hatred and serenity moment. He turns the satellite. Something they took the clip off YouTube. But when this movie originally released, when Magneto turns it, he had this really weird laugh in the movie theater.
He kind of laughed. Like
But they edited
they
it
edited
for
it?
the
Okay.
DVD, the stream, everything like that. And there used to be on YouTube the real version. It sounded like the Joker. He's like, like,
What?
but they take it out and he just is like laughing a little bit. But it's. I always found that weird that it went to the theaters and it had this laugh, but then after that to home release, like we gotta edit this laugh.
That's funny
so.
though, because I remember like when he does that laugh. Obviously, it's not full. Like they edited it, but it just seemed so like the way he's smiling too. Like he
Yeah.
looks like the Joker.
People called it the Joker laugh. Yeah. And then after that, like I said, we talked about earlier, they got that war montage they're just setting up. We got one last great scene of them playing chess. I love it.
Oh, I loved it.
They used the
On the
scene.
Lincoln Memorial, right?
What?
Or is that another scene?
No, that's earlier.
Okay.
That,
They're
I'm talking
playing
about
chess then.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I was talking about the scene when they right before battle and they're kind of talking about like, killing Shaw won't bring you peace.
Oh,
and it's from the
right.
trailer, but just when Magneto goes like, peace was never an option. That just perfectly sums up who Eric Lencher is. So, and then after this, we just get the whole climactic battle at the end. You got the sub, missile crisis, everything. So just talk about the entire ending because I don't need to blow by blow it. Just everything from when Magneto's lifting that sub to when him and Charles are fighting over rockets. Anything you want to shout out?
Quickly
Now's the
before we
time.
got on this,
Go
I
ahead.
forgot to mention this when Charles and I keep
Moira?
Not yeah, she's
The
there. But when they
Beast?
go to Russia to try and find Shaw,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that whole scene, when they get to that checkpoint and Charles does like the mind
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I love that scene too. I forgot.
Don't
to,
move. Or
Yeah,
whatever
I
you're
forgot
doing.
to mention. And then he's just fucking with the guy's mind so he can see him.
The dogs are barking and
Yeah,
nothing.
sorry,
Yeah,
I had to
good
throw
scene.
that out. 'cause
No. Now we're never gonna talk about First Class again. So
Yeah, so I guess I'll just go with the Cuban Missile Crisis. How do they even start? Oh, this is when Beast reveals himself as Beast, and they
Yeah.
get into their
they
ship.
made the suits, which I actually like the suits.
I like the
The
suits,
were
yeah,
good. Yeah.
because that's like old school X-Men, right?
I guess I
And-
just don't really like Havoc's costume as well too.
He looks like an idiot with the big
Like a satellite dish on his chest.
yeah.
Totally.
It's like he doesn't need this, but we're gonna put it on him
Oh, it
anyways. But
looks so
yeah,
ridiculous.
he doesn't look cool. I like these suits better than the X-Men suits because
That's
those
true.
leather black
The
ones
Matrix
are not
ones.
great.
Product
Yeah.
of its time, though, right?
Yeah,
2000.
product of its time. 2011.
Yeah.
That
2011.
Havoc suit, product of its time.
That was
No.
8 years ago.
That's what
looks
Kyle said
so
to me when we
stupid.
were watching the movie. You know, when we saw it together. Remember, Kyle?
Oh yeah.
Kyle's like product of its time.
It's fine.
While you're living in the time.
Yeah, but yeah, it starts with the big old sub lift. Great moment.
Yeah, I like the little showdown too with like the American soldiers and the Russian soldiers, and then
Mhm.
you just got like the one cargo ship going through. Obviously I didn't have subtitles this part, so I don't really know what the Russians were thinking was going on with that with that ship
Oh, they were telling the ship
to
no,
stop, right?
No, they were saying like, what were?
Because
can't
at one
remember.
point they're speaking English to the Americans, and the Americans are like, "Oh no, they're just trying to fuck with us, so don't listen."
Oh
to them."
no. Okay, so they got orders to tell them to turn the ship around,
The cargo
the
ship.
cargo
yeah.
ship around because of whatever reason.
Yeah.
And then so they're like, okay, like, so they're trying to call the ship to turn it around, but the ship won't turn around, and that's when you
Because,
find
yeah.
them because the
As a little
people are done.
whatever his name is.
Or
Mhm.
Did I say that right?
Say what you saying?
Nightcrawler's father.
Azazel.
Azazel.
Yeah.
Azazel destroyed them.
I don't even know what I said, but I'll go with Azazel.
And he
from
gets
now
on the mics. And he
Yeah.
and I appreciate that he's wearing the hat. at
Yeah,
one
that's
point
funny.
too. Little sailor's hat.
Yeah, like I guess it's kind of a stressful moment when you don't know if the ship's gonna go across the line. But due to the lack of subtitles, I wasn't really invested in this whole scene other than
Mhm.
visually. I thought it looked great. And then when the Russians, when Charles takes over that one guy's mind,
Mm-hmm.
shoots the missile, take it out. I love that. That looked great.
And they're all looking at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly about to arrest him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and then they basically tell him like, oh, he's a hero for doing that.
Oh, do they?
For
Okay.
yeah, and he's like, what did I do? I don't know what
Oh,
happened.
okay.
And he's like super confused.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Americans mentioned it's like, oh, the one guy lost his mind. So I was like, they must have been really mad with them. I don't speak Russian much, so.
Mm.
That's fair
Um,
enough. I thought the montage, like, I guess this like kind of ending was all right. Well,
Really?
like it was good, but like I don't know. I feel like just the X-Men First Class, characters are just really shit.
I agree. Okay, so
Totally.
And
Yeah.
like it's just like everyone's just so OP. Actually, just like McAvoy.
I think
and-
they're not. Yeah, I think the first class
and
people
Magneto,
aren't. Like
but
they're
like the
little,
rest of them are just like
yeah,
awful, and it's even like it's
like Angel running
Angel
around,
running
shooting a
around,
little
like, shoot, like-
fireball.
Oh my! Those close-up shots were so funny. It's like,
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say.
And like, what is Banshee supposed to do? Like, yeah, you're
just
you're
screams at
using
people.
your voice to help you fly. So
He used sonar at one point. Remember to help track down
yeah,
some.
yeah. So,
Boom,
but
he was
like, how is
useful.
he supposed to fight them back
I think that
while
would,
he's flying?
well, no, you can't.
You
just
can't.
gotta-
He's just he's just
He
getting
can
chased
dingle.
by Angel.
yeah, and he's holding on to Havoc the entire time too.
Yeah.
And then at one point, like she shoots and hits Havoc's like chest thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the fuck is the point?
And then he's like, "Oh, I can't use my powers anymore.
I'm
It's
done."
completely useless." It's like,
He
you were
uses his
using your
powers.
powers beforehand.
he uses his powers.
and Mystique's just sitting on the ship, like, oh no.
yeah, as
Um,
someone else.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess yeah, just hoping someone
Oh.
that Shaw's not going to be on the beach as well. No, I guess I agree. That first class stuff's no, I won't say sucks. It's just fine. The stuff that I love is okay. Magneto lifting the sub, great moment. Magneto and Shaw's face down, great moment. The way they trick him, like he uses the cables to take off the helmet. Charles gets him, and then what I was saying, the Magneto pub scene was my favorite. This is my favorite scene. That like Shaw gives this whole monologue about how mutants are the future and everything like that.
Mhm.
And then once he gets that helmet off, he freezes them. And Magneto goes, you know what? I actually agree with everything you said. You're
Yeah.
completely right. And then when he turns around, he's just like, unfortunately, you killed my mother. And then when he has that coin, he's just like, I'm going to count to 3.
Oh,
and the coin
such
is
a good
going to
scene.
move.
Jeez.
And not only one great callback to like what happened at the beginning of the
Mhm.
movie,
Oh,
just that moment, the cinematography of the coin going into Shaw's head and then they're following Xavier's head
Oh.
and just Xavier screaming while Shaw's dead silent. So good. And it's just so effed up what happens next is Magneto walks out of the sub and he literally just has like metal wrapped around Shaw and he just has Shaw floating there like a Jesus. And it's just
yeah,
like, and
it's
he's
really weird.
it was, but it's scary, right? And then there's just this moment he's just monologuing and he's just talking about how he can hear the guns moving. That so you're 100% right on the first class people,
Yeah.
but I guess that stuff's just so good I forget about because the Charles
Yeah.
Magneto Shaw stuff is a knockout of the park.
No,
Some of the
yeah.
best X-Men stuff ever. And
you know
then
what? To be honest, the whole like Charles and Magneto, the entire movie is the best part.
100%,
It's
yeah.
when those two are together, or either one, like by themselves. Well,
Yeah.
not so much Charles, but more Magneto.
Shots fired. Yeah.
Like that's the most interesting part of this entire movie.
Oh,
Everything
easily,
else
yeah.
is just kind of like bland. So
I won't go as far as that. I won't say bland,
I
but
wasn't-
I'll definitely say Eric and Xavier is the best part because
Yeah.
I like some of the
Mm.
Shaw stuff. I find him entertaining, and I like Mystique. So
yeah,
that's what I mean.
but who's Shaw with?
What? At one point, Angel. He just trades up Emma real quick for Angel, but I
oh
like
yeah,
him.
she totally replaces her. That's
Yeah.
so funny.
She's like wearing her clothes. It's like a Lando Han situation. Like this is weird, but I like just seeing him be Shaw and like this charismatic villain. So I agree with you that the other stuff's lower. I won't go bland, but that stuff's great. And then all the rockets are coming down, and he just turns them around. And that great fight him and Charles have. That at one point he just like punches Charles. When he does that, he makes rockets explode. Like you just feel like it's his Darth Vader moment. And he's just turned full bad guy, and he's just popping off. So I love all that.
Yeah. I have a quick question. Is the helmet that he wears, is that metal?
I don't think so because he couldn't take it off, right?
I know,
So it's
that's why I was wondering why he didn't just take it off because it seems pretty metallic to me.
maybe it's some aluminum or something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah, I'll give it to him.
It doesn't work like that.
I'll give it to him.
Why does it not work like that?
Because he can still use his powers to bend all that stuff.
Well, maybe it's a special type of aluminum the Russians made. I don't know.
3D printer.
They all have, they all got diplomas. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, the first class stuff I agree kind of with Kyle. Like, I wouldn't go too far. That's just like completely bland because I don't know. Like for me, I just feel like they just cancel each other out. Like with the bad first class people, like Angel fighting Banshee, like it's so doesn't like push the plot forward
You don't care,
whatsoever. No, and they cancel each other out, right?
And you also got Beast and Azazel fighting.
I think
I guess-
may
yeah.
have misspoke on my.
No,
when I was
that's
saying
it.
it's
That's it.
bland.
Turn
I'm
his
saying
mic off.
like that. Those parts are very bland. This
Travis is abusing
This
the
day.
power of the
Oh
volume.
no! Oh no! No. Yeah.
yeah no my saying is like those characters is like pretty bland, but everything else that happens is very good.
No, yeah,
And that's why I'm trying. I'm not saying the movie is bland.
yeah.
No,
I thought he
I
was
didn't
gonna
think.
turn you
I turned you up. No, I didn't think you were saying the movie was bland. I just
No.
don't think the stuff that I like least is still bland. I could say stuff like Angel and Havoc are bland, but I still think like I like Mystique and I like you know, stuff going on. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but what you said though, like, is when I thought of that scene, I kind of just pictured like Angel flying around, Banshee kind of chasing her and stuff. I totally like took away though from like the epic scene, like when Magneto actually faces down with Shaw, like you already said, like with that coin scene.
Great room
oh.
too. It's like a mirrored room.
Yeah.
So cool.
And I like how like at first like Shaw just like fucks up Magneto, and then it like
Big
makes a little
time.
hole, and then Charles like I can kind of like get through now.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that whole scene and I can't get enough of that coin scene. How you just like he's been holding on to that coin since he was a boy,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Just waiting for that moment, and it's just
Knowing one day I'm gonna kill this man with a fucking
yeah. He's like, I'm
coin.
gonna count to 3 and blah blah.
It's
blah.
so
Oh,
good.
it's so good.
Okay, wait. So Charles can still get through the helmet then?
How come?
No.
If he's saying that I can kind of get in through, or is he
No,
just
that
more
was the
saying-
room.
Or is
Because
it
remember,
room?
yeah, that
Because he
sub.
can get into Magneto's head.
Yeah,
so
that's
he knows
this.
what's going
But
on.
at one point, no, this he can't even get to Magneto's head when they go in that like mirror room.
yeah,
because
yeah. But when it
blocks
cracks
him off.
open, but
Yeah.
he's saying that he can get to Magneto. So
Yeah, because he can see what's happening, so that's why he stops. Magneto gets that helmet off. He stops Shaw,
Well,
hoping Shaw's not gonna
yeah,
kill him, and then
And when Magneto is wearing the helmet, he's basically like taking over Shaw. So he's seen
Yeah.
Shaw die through Shaw's eyes. That's
Yeah.
why.
That's-
That's right.
Oh, he's
or-
probably going through that
Oh, he's
full on
experiencing-
pain.
Yeah.
Experiencing
Oh,
the
yeah.
pain. Like it's
Not
pretty
great.
intense moment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That was really good. I really liked all of that, and even with like the whole missiles going kind of back and forth. And
I liked how that like whenever he would lose focus, they would kind of drop,
Yeah.
and then he
Yeah.
would like focus on them again, and they pick up.
So
Yeah.
cool.
So good.
I
And
think
then-
that was really well done.
And then Moore's popping off, shooting at him. He's deflecting these bullets, and then boom, one goes into Xavier. And then
Did he really have to deflect them? Couldn't he just stop them?
he was showing off in
Okay,
front of
okay,
everybody,
fair
you
enough.
know.
He was
but
flexing.
But you're right. Yeah. It didn't go well for Charles. But then
No.
Charles is on the ground. They talk about their differences and how we're the same. And then he says, "Oh, well, we want very much different things." And then he asks, "Who's gonna come with me?" Mystique goes. We kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
And then there's two things I
Hold
want to
on,
bring up.
qu-
Yeah, go ahead.
Quickly, and he's calling over Mystique. I found it so funny because originally she just goes over to Charles.
Yeah, check on
But
him.
like he's like still holding his arm up, and then it goes back to fucking Fassbender, and he's like still has his arm up. I'm like, dude, his arm's gonna be tired.
He knew she was
Yeah.
going along. He knew.
Sorry. Carry on.
There's two things. One, for some reason, when the very first time I saw this, I like teared up when he was talking about he couldn't feel his legs because that moment was also good. I forgot Charles like got paralyzed eventually.
Well, because of Origins, right?
Well, that too. Well, that's probably it. Honestly, it's probably it because I thought this is it. Well, and I'll get to the other reason why I maybe didn't think that, but I had just forgotten that moment. And I think, yeah, it could be a little cheesy, but I think McAvoy does a good job when he's talking about I can't feel my legs in the score and they're zooming out of the beach. I think it's great. I
I
remember
think he says
tearing
it a
up.
little too much for me.
I would
He
say
repeats them like 4 times or something.
fair enough, you know.
I might be exaggerating, but
Repeat story. What?
he's like, I can't feel my legs.
Oh.
And
can't
then,
feel my
and then it's
legs.
panning out.
He
I
also
can't feel
says
my
I'm
legs.
very groovy like multiple times.
I'm
at the
very
beginning
groovy. I
of the
can't feel my
movie.
legs.
It was a little bland. But then, so the thing that it's fine now because we got Days of Future Past and spoilers. I love that movie and we're gonna review that movie. I'm very excited to
Can't
do
wait.
that. So that's great. But at the time, and I still think that this hurts the movie a little bit. I don't know if they need to get broken up in one movie, to be honest. I think they could have done one more of them together. Because for them to, and especially if we're thinking about this in the X-Men way, of this being a prequel, they talk about being best friends. I buy that they have an appreciation for each other and a friendship, but I don't buy that they're
Yeah.
like long-time, full-on best friends with this, which is,
Yeah.
this movie maybe takes place, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say it's a month.
Yeah.
Okay, like, and I could see him respect, but the way they talked about it. So I remember even when I was watching, that's why I didn't think he was paralyzed. I'm like, oh, this can't happen already. And it's like, oh, he's already paralyzed and they're already broken up. I thought it happened a lot, way too quick.
Yeah.
But now that we got Days of Future Past, it is fine. But I still think there is almost like another. You could have done this and done one more movie of kind of like having Magneto hint towards the dark side, but not do the full jump.
Mhm.
It's fine. It still works. I don't think it's a big
Mhm.
con, but I still think that sometimes that it does just move all a little fast. And if they're best friends, it's like, well, I
That's
guess
a really
you're
good
best friends,
point.
but
Yeah.
Mystique's more your fucking friend than he was. You know, like you grew up with her. You knew this guy for a month. That you guys, okay, you played chess together and you had really similar ideals. But other than that, like she's your best friend, not him.
Yeah.
But whatever.
No, that's a lot of good points. Because like thinking of this of just a standalone, like I guess they kind of need. I don't even know if they do need that. Like where they break off at the end though.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Because I was trying to what. Jesus, like choking on my own words over here. Thanks, Travis. I feel like if you take this as a standalone, like you kind of need Fassbender and McAvoy to come together and then kind of break off at the end and not just be like they're sort of breaking off and then just like let that happen in the next movie. And then going back to the point of McAvoy loses, I thought it was in the next movie when he becomes paralyzed. So I was actually kind of surprised. When he got shot, I didn't think he was paralyzed at first.
Yeah.
And I've seen this movie before, but I don't know. I wasn't thinking too much of it though until you just mentioned it. It just seems like a lot, especially right at the end there, and then especially when you throw in like the Emma Frost scene at the end when Magneto goes to recruit her, and he's just like full on bad guy. He's
What
got
do
the
you-
cape,
What do you think about that suit?
the Magneto suit.
Yeah.
Amazing. I really liked it.
Guest
I
one?
thought it was so
It was my
good.
turn.
Guess two.
Um,
It was sick. That helmet color. Give me that purple.
I
that
thought,
was
I thought it was
dope
a
as.
little bland, but yeah.
You thought it was bland? Nah, it was dope as. You look so sick.
Kurgan, what do you think about that suit?
I got a cool question before I give you my opinion. Was that a magnet on his head? Because it looked like he had something on the front.
No, he does have. So yeah, it is very comic booky, classic Magneto. I don't have the helmet here, but he has like a
Little antennae or
yeah, and I liked it. I think the suit. The only reason it's a little awkward because it just pops up out of nowhere. I would have liked to seen the suit more in action because it looked a little too fabricy for my taste. But I love the color, and I actually love the helmet. And I hate that in Days of Future Past, of course, with Bryan Singer back, they're like, no, we're not going to go that comic booky,
Yeah.
so they tear it down. Because some people don't like this suit when it appears up, and we never got to see it in full form again. So, but I really like it. I was excited. We never saw it. And I like the scene of him breaking her out.
That
really
was a great
fun.
scene.
Yeah.
I do like that. Yeah, the suit, like, I don't feel like super strong for or against it just because we didn't really get to see it in action. Like, it definitely seems they probably just did that for, like, shouts out to the comics.
Yeah.
Like you said, like, it's very comic booky. So for me, in this movie, other than, like, the yellow suits, it didn't feel very comic booky. It kind of just felt like a... Not so much like a original X-Men where they go like full Matrix.
So all of a sudden he has his red, purple suit and a fucking helmet with antlers, and you're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Are
So
you looking at the...
I'm trying to find it right now.
I would have liked to see like that cape like kind of flying around, how like the Magneto does his little flotations. So I'm not really for or against it, but I really like the color. I'm not gonna lie. I really loved it.
Are you trying to... What suit are you trying to find, Kyle?
The one that
from
we're
the
talking
movie?
about, yeah.
The red one. Was it red or because you said purple?
It was
Someone
red and
said
purple. I don't know how you're still looking for. All I put in was first class Magneto suit, and I found it right away, Kyle.
Kyle's on Instagram right now.
Right away.
He forgot about the cast.
It's right there. I can't turn it anymore because I'm recording. Okay, yeah.
I was just taking my time looking at it.
He was
Wow.
appreciating it.
Yeah, I was getting more into the detail of it all.
But yeah, I think it's because there's other ones.
Oh, I also love when they were flying in the crazy jet. I forget the X-Men jet, the crazy jet. Oh my god! What's that? What's
What do you call this, Hank? I call this the wacky crazy jet.
As he's hanging upside down.
Yeah. So anyways, what's
it's a
this?
CIA plane, and this happened so long ago. Why is this happening? You bring this up now?
No, this is part of it when he's moving up the submarine. Like so
We're
part of
past
battle.
that. We're
We're
at
in
the,
like the
I
end
know.
credits
yeah.
scene over here.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's fine.
We're
You-
just,
I don't
you
want
got
to
the
talk about it
floor.
anymore. Nah.
This is the only time you're gonna talk about it. So go. Talk
No,
about the
I
crazy
thought
jet.
him like lifting up the submarine was so sick.
Oh, what we talked
Yeah.
about?
I swear we already talked about
I
that.
didn't talk about it. I didn't get to put my little 2 cents on the montage, and you guys just moved on for me. So I'm
All
putting
right.
it now.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Guest one.
Just
Us
like I didn't
guys
get
have
to
to
talk
look
about
up-
my montage.
Oh, talk
of
about the ending. Talk about the ending.
the ending. Was,
Charles is paralyzed. He kisses Moira, makes her forget. You got Fassbender in the suit.
yeah, it was sick.
You bastard.
No, I really liked kind of the ending and how it ended and how it ended. I don't know. I'm over it. You guys screwed me over.
Oh, that's right.
Guest one has left the game.
I got nothing to
the
say.
group
I'm
chat.
left about this movie.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the kiss is what made her lose her memory. I thought that just was touched upon.
I don't think it was the kiss. I think it was like
That's what he said.
I don't.
I'm
I
putting
don't.
words
I
in
didn't mean it
Travis's
in the
mouth.
literal sense.
That's what you said.
I said that, but I don't think I
You said
would.
literally the kiss is what made her lose her mind.
Nope.
Yeah, you
play
did
it
say
back.
that.
Play it back.
Oh,
Run
we'll
it
play it back.
'Kay.
We gonna
The
clap.
guests don't
we
have
we
that.
gonna clap back, boy.
The guests don't have that.
You gonna learn. You gonna learn today.
Do we have anything else to say on this movie?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay,
I can
Do
check
we-
my notes.
do we
Wait,
do-
what's your
I
trivia?
got some trivia. Jeez.
Do we rate after trivia?
Yeah,
we
we
read
did.
after
Always-
trivia.
Yeah, it has. We're a mess. 2 more episodes. I have a list of trivia. It's not as much trivia. Honestly, this, and maybe it's just because it's they were were better at studios, and they were just like, okay, let me rephrase it. Holy
Oh,
fuck.
wow.
Maybe studios were
towards the end.
better.
We're all good at words.
Yeah, maybe studios were better, and they were just like, we kind of have an idea of what we want and who we want to cast. So there's not as many fun as, oh, it's almost this, almost this. So I have less trivia, but I also have every instant where they win against the original trilogy as far as like the
Oh,
rules. So
yes.
here's the trivia
I'm
first.
excited for this.
To prepare for his role as Charles Xavier, James McAvoy shaved his head. He soon learned that the filmmakers wanted Charles to have a full head of hair in the prequel. Throughout the first month, he had to wear hair extensions.
On that note, I did
Wow.
I did like the shout out when with Moira. Is that what
At
he
the
says
very end, yeah. About
yeah.
like you're gonna have students run around, and she's like, "Oh, before you know, it, I'll be bald," or something like that, right?
Yeah, I liked it.
And then when they're in the cerebral the first time, didn't Beast ask him to shave his head?
It would work better if you shave your head and don't
Yeah.
touch my hair. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
lots
Check.
of hair jokes.
I liked him.
Next question.
A telepathic
Next
battle
question.
between okay, Kanye. Battle between Professor X and Emma Frost was going to be in the film upon the release of Inception, the concept was scrapped. This was used again in X-Men Apocalypse between Professor X and Apocalypse. So I'd heard this a lot. So I don't know if you remember Apocalypse, but Xavier and him have that scene
Yep.
where they're in each other's mind. Fine. That was supposed to be him and Emma Frost. Apparently it was a wild sequence of them like running through mirrors and stuff like that. But because of Inception, it's apparently very much like that Joseph Gordon-Levitt fight where he's like with that guy and they're on the roof and they're spinning and stuff like that. So I think they're like, we don't want to seem like we ripped it off. So
Oh,
yeah,
that would have made her character a lot better though.
Yeah,
at least a better send-off than just
Yeah.
bed kill.
Yeah.
bed
Yeah.
kill.
Yeah.
What is that? It's like
Well, when
roadkill.
they, like put up against the bed, they broke her diamond. She was
Bed
done
kill.
for the
She
whole
didn't
movie.
die. What'd
She
you say
didn't
kill?
die at all, man.
Her spirit did. Bryan Cranston turned down the role of Sebastian Shaw to be in Drive.
Really?
I feel like that's a really different Shaw.
That would be a very different
100%,
show.
yeah.
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 I don't think we would have gotten that comedic vibe.
You never know though. He was in Malcolm in the Middle for many years. Remember,
It's true.
he was a comedic actor before he went to
Easy
Breaking Bad. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
True that.
True that.
just a fun fact. Another one: Jennifer Lawrence and Nicholas Hoult began dating on the set of this film.
Nicholas Hoult is that Beast?
Yeah,
Okay.
as did Michael Fassbender and Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz is which one? Sorry,
Angel.
Angel. Okay.
I'm not going to comment on that. And then finally, Taylor Lautner was considered to play Hank McCoy, aka Beast, but dropped out due to scheduling conflicts. Nicholas Hoult was later cast. So Nicholas Hoult, maybe not the greatest Beast, or that Beast isn't the greatest, but I think it would have been a lot worse if it was Taylor Lautner from.
I really liked him in Twilight, though. I thought he did a good job.
Is that the only thing he's ever been in?
No, he's been in other things. How come you really you're lying, right?
No, I thought he did. I thought he was like one of the best parts of those movies.
What's your favorite Twilight movie?
Eclipse. I've never seen them. Shay's watching them right now. That's how I know.
I have no idea. I'm just totally fucking.
Yeah,
with
I knew you were, you liar. I've only seen the very last one. That's the
Is that
only one.
Eclipse?
I saw the first one and then the last one.
Which
and
one's
they're
the
all
last
because
one?
of girls.
Ayo.
The last one was like Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Oh, I have no idea.
Part 2? They have what?
They split the last book into 2 parts.
Of course they did.
Yeah,
Okay.
just like Avengers, and they did the same thing.
Fuck, dude.
Fuck. Avengers is gonna be
just
awful.
stall
It
some
was
time
awful,
because I'm
right?
trying to find my.
By the time of this recording.
Oh yeah,
we've
by the
already
time it's
seen it.
recording, they've seen Endgame.
Yeah.
Stall some time. I'm just trying to
Spider-Man
find.
lives. Spoiler.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
My Australian friend told me.
There was another thing that I wanted to say as well too, about this movie. Just trying to find. Oh, so when they're in the bar, actually, you know what?
Causing a fucking roll today,
Yeah.
and we still got to record the Wolverine.
Yeah. Nah. So like,
He's beasting.
there was one part where what was her name? The CIA agent, the girl?
Moira.
Moira?
Moira. I don't know if I'm saying it.
Moira.
Moira. Like
Moira.
Moira. Correct?
Sure.
Yeah.
Moira.
Anyways, so when she's trying to
Why
call
did
this
it matter?
Yeah, anyways. So when she's trying to call the CIA saying, like, hey, this general, like, he's up to these plans, like, he was just here doing all these things.
Oh, he's right here.
Yeah, and he's there right there the whole time. Like, I thought that was kind of funny because she's, like, losing. She feels like, you really feel like she's losing her mind of, like, wait, no, I just saw him. Like, it's impossible for him to be there type thing.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool of just, like, showing, like, kind of off the mutant powers, like, to the humans for the first time.
Yeah.
Of, like, them not really knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
Even though, like, the whole, like, interaction when the mutants first meet the CIA agents, like, it's kind of awkward, and they're like, oh, who are you? And they're like, oh, you do this
He's
and
a
this.
spy. He's a spy.
Oh, that's
Oh,
I've
yeah.
seen this joke before.
trick.
Or trick, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
And did you notice who the older guy was there in that room?
No.
no.
Colonel Stryker. It was William Stryker's dad.
I did know that. I just forgot. Just for the
Oh,
record.
yeah.
For the
Because
record,
remember,
I knew that.
At Professor X goes, oh, you're thinking about your son, William, right now. So, who does
Oh.
come up in Days of Future Past. So, the Strikers are always around.
And X-Men
Strikers
Origins,
are
don't
always
forget.
there.
Yeah, and
His
Apocalypse
son
too.
makes
The
an
Strikers
appearance.
are. I understand people's complaints.
And he's
Who
in
just entered the room?
X1.
No, that's the only one. But I feel like people are just always like, why is Stryker and Alkali Lake always in these? And yeah, I don't think you're gonna see Stryker for a while in the MCU because he's been in so many of these fucking movies.
Good
I'm
times.
surprised he wasn't in
He's
Logan.
gonna be the next Thanos.
Whoa. So here we go. I got a list of all the mistakes of continuity
Oh, here
between
we
the
go.
other films. My God, I need water. In X2, Hank McCoy appears in human form before his don't just taunt me with your water. Before his mutation is manifest by the third film, whereas in First Class, he goes through the transformation for the first time as a young man.
Huh.
I'm not gonna lie, I was
Half listening.
half listening. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Remember in X2, they show Hank McCoy in the TV screen?
Yes.
He's a human. But he clearly in the 60s turned into a beast. So
Okay.
they, of course, write that off fans being like, well, in Days of Future Past, he finds a way to suppress that. So that's what he must have been doing.
Okay.
But doesn't make much sense.
So how come they went through the effort of explaining that, but not like 90% of the other continuity issues?
No, this is
No, this
IMDb explanations.
Oh,
this is not
IMDb.
this is
So
not
this
the movie.
is the fans.
Yeah,
Explaining.
this is
Okay.
them trying to figure out, or this is
Alright.
them saying all the mistakes.
Yes.
In X2, there's an
apologize.
incident where Sebastian Stan is speaking with McCoy on television. However, he's only referred to, or Sebastian Shaw, sorry, he's only referred to as Dr. Shaw and maybe a different character. So, okay, so playing with it. So here's the one. In the beginning of The Last Stand, during a flashback, and at the end of Origins, Xavier has full use of his legs in 1980s, whereas First Class, he loses them in 1962. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so we talked about that already. In the opening of Last Stand, Eric and Xavier are working together to recruit Jean in the 80s. In this film, they go their separate ways much earlier in life. They may have briefly reconciled to go before going their separate ways once again. So, same thing, X3, they go to recruit Jeans, but they're clearly broken up. So
Jeans?
Jeans.
Okay.
We talked about this, about them creating Cerebro, but that was really Beast. In X-Men, Professor X tells Logan that he met Eric Lencher when he was 17 years old, which would have been in 1949, given the fact Xavier was born in 1932. According to First Class, they met in 1962. However, they could briefly encounter each other when Eric went to New York.
Oh my
I
god.
love these howevers.
Yeah.
You know, it's quite possible this happened.
It's like when you and Kyle met each other
In
at
2011,
Yeah.
year, yeah. We were still working together. That's exactly it. Same thing. This was a point Kyle brought up about the helmet. Professor said that they made it together, but what's the deal, with these helmets? Let's see. In Origins, Emma Frost covered her body with small diamonds, whereas in First Class, her body becomes one large diamond. Yep. That's so.
I didn't
her
notice that.
powers are different, right? If
Mhm.
you think about that, when she goes like that to deflect the bullets, just the diamonds are a lot different. It's a bunch of diamonds all over her body. With this,
Okay.
she's just a huge diamond.
in the process of forgetting that movie.
Yeah, and then I did tell you this when we did X3, but Moira Taggart is in X3 as that doctor who's talking to Xavier during the class. She's like, this is a comatose patient, and he blah, blah, blah. She's like a young Scottish woman, but this is her again, so.
Which movie was this? Sorry, X3.
X3, yeah.
Kind of forgot that scene.
Yeah, so, yeah,
Hmm.
lots of stuff.
Wow.
That wasn't your best trivia, but it wasn't your worst.
I
mean,
told you there wasn't much great
probably was
trivia,
the worst,
and
actually.
I
think
did
is the worst.
Yeah.
I did preference that. Okay, hey, I did preference that it wasn't the greatest trivia, and I did say this wasn't trivia. This was just mistakes.
That was
So
questions.
Yeah.
it's different. This is the first time that was mistakes. You can say this mistakes segment not
Mystique?
great.
Sorry?
Mistake segment not
Mystique?
great. And big spoiler, big spoiler. I don't have great trivia for the Wolverine either.
Oh man.
So
it's one of
I
those
told you,
guys.
as films get, honestly, we did this with the Marvel Retro too. As films get newer, there's less trivia because either, like I said, the studio system's better, or less people have just spoken up and been like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I was almost cast as that role." Like, if it's only a few years, people aren't gonna be like, "I was almost
Yeah.
young Magneto," because be like, "Oh, so you didn't get the role? You sucked." Here's a piece of trivia for you that is not on this list. You know this because you were on the Spider-Man retrospective, but Michael Fassbender was in the middle of picking this or Amazing Spider-Man to do, and he was going to play Dr. Kirk Connors.
So glad he did this.
Oh, so glad he did this, especially because
Yeah.
that is not the greatest movie. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. I'm giving it the same grade as X2 because I think for both reasons, I love them both. There's things I like better. We're going to do a rankings episode, so I won't say which one I like more. So stay tuned for that. But a 9 out of 10. Some great set pieces. Some great score is phenomenal. Maybe the best score you got. Great cinematography. I love the setting. I love the attires. I love I love the look of this movie, even though I don't like the look of certain characters. And McAvoy, and more importantly, Fassbender just kill it. So a 9 out of 10 for me.
I'm gonna go ahead now. I'm gonna give
I'll
it.
allow it.
He is
one.
guest number
Yeah.
1. Yeah.
I am guest one. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think I really enjoyed it. As much as I was kind of bashing some of the characters, overall, I thought this was a really good movie. And kind of, it's kind of funny because after just watching like X-Men Origins and like X3 and like
Nice refresher.
it's been like a nice refresher, remind yourself like, oh yeah, like this is like what a movie like. Yeah, there's some plots, but like this feels a lot better than what we've seen like prior years or like only like a year or two beforehand. So
Yeah.
an 8.5 for me. I thought like a lot of the action was really good. I really liked the character development, and like Ian McAvoy and Travis's crush here.
who the fuck is Ian McAvoy?
What? Wow. Man, I'm just getting all mixed up. Charles Xavier and Magneto just do a
I apologize. I feel like I feel like we had some fun this podcast, but as far as just us speaking as regular humans, we're not on our A game.
No.
We're filming this the night before Endgame, and I'm gonna put it at that we're just so hyped that
That's
our
what I'll
brain is
blame it on,
shot.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ian McAvoy.
I'm just getting them all mixed up.
And James McKellen. Starring with Michael Stewart and Patrick Fassbender.
Holy shit! I like burst there. I tried to just let him go.
Kyle's doing like those games in old movie theaters when like he makes up two
Yeah.
faces, like guess a celebrity. He's just doing names. He's like guess that celebrity. It's like Ian McAvoy.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, guys. Anyway, so Magneto and Professor X, all of their scenes together is just so powerful to watch, and I quite enjoy it.
Great chemistry.
Like it's just amazing, and just what they do with their characters.
You
and
wish Feige would give them a pass with Ryan Reynolds too, and just be like, come on over.
come on
play."
over. It's
Yeah.
fine. We'll forget everything that happened before.
Yeah. No one else is coming, but you
Yeah.
three, come on.
Yeah,
Hugh,
So-
if you want to come back too, you can.
you can
Yeah.
please. Yeah.
Please, you can please.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. So
Yeah.
that's what
Cool.
I'm give it.
I'm
Guest
gonna
two?
give it a thank you, guest one. That
Yeah.
was excellently spoken.
Except for that Ian
Yeah.
McAvoy bit.
That was great though. Oh, that was an underbelly
That's
laugh from me.
that's a 2019 blueprints right there. Don't worry.
Like guest one, I'm also gonna give this an 8.5.
How come? Because when you said that, you were shaking your head. I thought you were gonna go lower.
What I was actually doing, I was rubbing my nose on this woofer
Are you
thing.
fucking kidding me?
Not even kidding. I'm 100%
Other people
sure.
use that microphone.
I know.
Oh god.
I'm so sorry,
I'm
guys.
gonna be truthful.
We
though.
did promise you that this was gonna be a strange trio, and it's definitely lived up to that. So.
Absolutely. It only took till first class to get to our full potential.
We're class 2 meetings now.
This is the peak.
Yeah. Hopefully it's the peak. Hopefully it doesn't get any crazier.
We got
But then
3
again, we got
episodes left.
Wolverine coming up.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 8.5. I think that's what I gave X1, and I'm gonna stand by it.
I don't know if you remember your ratings, so
I don't. You don't know if I remember.
no, because every time you say that, you're like, I think I gave this.
I
one
was
that.
thinking
think I
long
did
and
that.
hard about what I gave an 8.5 because I've given out one 8.5 other than this one. I think it was X1,
Okay,
but you can hold me to that if you want.
I won't. I'll just wait till we do the rankings episode, and you can show me where you put it.
All right. Yeah. No. Other than the irks that I threw out there, the Jennifer
McAvoy.
Jennifer
Lawrence.
Lawrence. Other than the Jennifer Lawrence effect that I had on Mystique and how she kind of took away the mystique of that character, for me, that was a stretch.
I see what you did there.
Kyle, what are you looking at?
He's like, oh, I can't wait to go to Australia, so I don't got a podcast anymore.
And the Beast, I am not a big fan of him. I've said my multiple points on him. But overall, just especially like the chemistry between McAvoy and Fassbender, it was so powerful, and the great shots that we had from the intro scenes to, I guess it would be kind of an intro scene when Fassbender's Nazi hunting goes to Argentina. That bar scene, just phenomenal. Basically any scene that Fassbender and McAvoy were on there together. It carried this movie so strong for
We
me.
didn't even talk about the sex scene.
Question mark?
Shit, we gotta quickly with Mystique. That added a
There's a
whole
sex
layer
scene?
because remember they sleep together.
Who?
Did they really sleep together though,
100%.
or is it just implied?
When?
But it doesn't matter if it's implied that something's happened. So remember when he walks into his room and Mystique's there as Raven.
Oh, she's just naked.
And she's
Right.
naked. And
Did
then
they get it on?
well, because they kiss and he gets in the bed with her. So I'm gonna assume they
Oh,
did.
I didn't see the kiss.
I
Oh,
didn't
they-
see the kiss either.
What? They kiss? No, they kiss full on.
Okay.
And one thing I do love at Easter egg, she's like, "Oh, how about this?" And she turns into another woman. That's Rebecca Romaine who played the original Mystique.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that's cool.
great
I was like, who the
jokes.
fuck is this?
But then when
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, I want the real Raven," that's where the perfection gift comes from. And he's like, "Perfection." Yeah, no, they kiss, and I'm pretty sure they get on. So
Good for her.
that's because and they
So,
allude to that in Days of Future
that's
Past
good.
that they were a
Continue.
couple.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Continuity.
Continuity. Thank you, Travis,
We-
host,
we need
host
to
of
end
this.
cast
Host of
soon.
Travis and the Guests.
Yeah,
That's gonna be my fucking band name. One.
I don't know what else to say.
Okay, no, I just want to shout that out. I thought that was a cool wrinkle because she's
Good to
that's
remember,
after
'cause-
she gets turned down by Hank too. And
Yeah,
that adds. We'll no,
and then
we'll
even
talk about
she's
that in
so
Days.
DTF.
We'll
that
talk
night.
about that in Days of Future Past because they still bring up some couple stuff in that. So
even
we'll,
like she walks in like with the robe, like naked, and like Professor
Travis
X
won't look at her.
it won't look at her. He's like, "Whoa, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Exactly.
This is me in my
like-
natural form."
Exactly like Kyle just acted out.
Yeah.
Oh no, what are you doing?
Yeah,
That's it.
not the best reaction.
Okay. You know your overall.
I believe I gave it an 8.5.
I know you were just saying some stuff, so I want to make
Yeah.
sure you're wrapped up.
I think we should wrap it up.
So,
Thank you for asking, Travis.
If you want
I
to go
appreciate
back
it.
to the
Guess to
other
appreciate you.
episodes and the future ones, go down to the details down below. You can get them early on Patreon. If not, subscribe to all the audio feeds or the video. We're everywhere. And if you like what we did here, I hope you did because this is madness. This is what usually happens. If you don't, then just don't tune back ever again because this happens a lot. Please give us a rating, a written review on iTunes. That's what helps us out. We're trying to get to 200 of those. So until the Wolverine in the next episode, Kyle,
Have an exhilarating day.
boom, he did it.
That was very smooth.
Thank
you got
you.
that? Was that in your notes?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I just came up with it. That's why when you're like, "What are you looking at?" That was me like thinking, like, I think I'm gonna use the word exhilarating. I'm like, I haven't used that one yet.
Because of my pun, it was so exhilarating.
I want to decide what way
Yeah.
I want to.
You want to what?
I want to be able to lounge.
Okay.
Because before my mic was like this, so I'm like sitting all looking like Randall from Recess. You seen that show?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, fuck Recess.
What?
No, I was never a fan.
How come?
That
fair
was
enough.
I just didn't like many of the characters. The humor didn't hit with me. It was
Fair
always in whatever that chunk of those 4 shows were. It was the one I was like, ugh, I gotta get through this one.
You got to get through it.
Yeah.
Oh, simpler times.
I can't remember those 4 shows, but I remember one of them was Proud Family, and I really like Proud Family.
Yeah, I
so-
wasn't a fan.
Oh, I didn't mind Proud Family.
Kirkland's racist. That's
Yeah,
why.
that's why.
Oh, get these people off my TV screen. I want to go back to the white kids at recess.
Yeah.
I,
Hey,
can-
there's one.
Vince LaSalle,
Yeah,
come on.
He plays basketball.
I can understand their
Of course.
problems. Yeah.
Of course.
He's like the whitest black guy.
He
He's good at
plays
sports.
basketball.
Yeah.
in all sports. He's great at all sports.